Tonight we return to legendary Lad People Stadium for one of the city's oldest rivalries, Davidson versus Murphy. The Warriors are seeking their first win of the season after losing to Daphne here last week. On the other side of the field, the Panthers want to keep the momentum going with a second straight victory and earning a region win at the same time. Get ready, it's the 60th meeting between Davidson and Murphy for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Al Whedon along with Corey Bounty. Covering the sidelines, we have Mike Herndon. Corey, tonight it's a Mobile Classic. Davidson versus Murphy.
You have to be excited about this 7A Region 1 matchup. I mean, there's a lot at stake with the pandemic. You don't know moving forward whether you'll have to forfeit a game. We're putting toe to leather tonight, Al, so every game is important, especially when it comes to region play.
Now, we know both of these teams, they share Lad People Stadium, so Davidson is visiting and Murphy's the home team, but for Davidson, it's like playing at home. They were just here about 2 weeks ago against Daphne.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to bounce back from a 42-6 loss to the Daphne Trojans here 1 week ago, and the Murphy Panthers are coming off an impressive win against Foley, a team that is in their region, and that was a big Region 1 win for them 1 week ago. They're continuing to be in region play. Murphy wants to see some things out of their team tonight that they didn't see 1 week ago, and we'll talk about that as the game progresses.
Well, speaking of that, let's get to your checklist, Corey. Murphy's the home team. What do you have for the Panthers tonight?
Murphy definitely has to limit the mental Murphy mistakes, and what do I mean by that? Penalties. Coach was really frustrated and wanted to work on that this week, so they don't want to see that yellow flag come out against them. Stop the Warriors' running game. We know this Davidson Warriors offensive attack is built on strong, hard-nosed running. They have to stop that tonight. And be fourth-quarter finishers. 1 year ago, they weren't able to finish some fourth-quarter games that ultimately costed them a playoff spot. So they want to make sure they play a complete 4 quarters and finish the game strong. The Davidson Warriors, they need to get off to a strong start like they did 1 week ago against the Daphne Trojans. They scored first, and then they didn't and were not able to produce any more offense, so they want to go ahead and continue to get off to a strong start tonight. Be balanced. Davidson has to throw the ball and run the ball. They like to run the ball to set up the pass and pigskin protection. They cannot turn the football over tonight against this Murphy Panther team.
All right. I appreciate that, Corey, with the checklist. Let's take it down to the field, check in with Mike Herndon right quick, see what's going on, game field conditions. What's up, Mike?
How are you guys up top? Now that the sun's dipped down behind the press box a little bit, you couldn't get a much prettier night for football. Just gorgeous down here. And at least one of these teams will be, actually both of them will love to see that, but Davidson played in an intermittent downpour last week, so they'll be happy to have a clean field tonight.
All right, Mike, we appreciate that. Speaking of the weather, let's take a quick look at the weather. Future One's weather forecast, 85 degrees as we kick off tonight, 68% humidity and a 5% chance of rain. And it looks like the guys have taken to the field already, Corey, so we're not going to take a break. Let's just keep it right here. You see your Future One's game forecast in front of you. About 8 o'clock, the temperature is going to go down a little bit. That humidity will stay the same. Davidson won the toss and deferred to the second half. Murphy will be receiving the kickoff. Kicking for Davidson, Jonah DeLonga. He's the son of the soccer coach for the Warriors, Corey.
And I'm impressed that you got his last name correct, because a week ago on the PA, I got an announcement saying, hey, it's DeLonga. So there we go, DeLonga with the kick.
I did my homework from Coach Rick Cawley. And there the Panthers on the kickoff return, getting it up to about the 25-yard line and not touched yet. Khalil Johnson, they finally bring him down at about the 28. So, Corey, action starts pretty quick here tonight. We didn't get our break in, but it's all good. We'll take a look at that Murphy offense as they come on the field, led by quarterback Alex Howell. This young man, he's a guy you definitely want to keep your eyes on. Threw for more than 1,200 yards last year. He's got an arm and he's smart. His receivers average 6'2" in height. Boy, that's some tall trees, led by 6'4" senior wideout Tanaka Scott. He has big play capability. Also, senior wideout Al Robinson may go up and haul in a few catches as well. But the workhorse for the Panthers is senior running back Darius Wheeler. If he's getting the rock tonight, they're going to keep it going his way, Corey. So first down, and there he is. They hand off to Wheeler as he crosses the 35-yard line for the Murphy Panthers.
And the matchup I'm looking forward to see is Tanaka Scott against Jeremiah Martin. Jeremiah Martin's 5'10", 158-pound junior, made 4 solo tackles a week ago. But on that first possession, Tanaka Scott put him on an island, and Coach Rico Jackson's calling the plays for this Murphy Panther team. So if they're going to be one-on-one coverage, you can look for Howell to try to hook up with the long ball with Tanaka Scott Jr.
2nd and 2. Back to Wheeler they go. Probably no gain on that play. You're right about that. Coach Rico Jackson, his offensive coordinator, went to another school and took a job, and so Coach Jackson said this year he's going to go back to calling plays. Last year was the first year he relinquished duties, Corey, where he didn't do defense or offense, so he's calling plays tonight.
On the flip side, defensive coordinator Kelly Eubanks for the Davidson Warriors leads this 3-4 defense. Again, it's going to be critical for them to get off to a very good start here. 3rd down and 2 yards to go for this Murphy Panther offense.
No gain for Wheeler on that play. Tanaka Scott moving to the top of your screen right there. Big play capability. You talked about him, Corey. That guy is something else. They give it back to Wheeler, and the Warriors defense stiffens up, and that's going to be probably a loss.
Nolan Asbury, the defensive end, 6'1", 190-pound senior, had 6 solo tackles a week ago, 2 for a tackle for loss, and because of it, only 1.5, maybe a half-yard gain. 4th down and 1 yard to go. Decision time for head coach Rico Jackson with the ball being deep in his own territory.
So Wheeler credited for 1 yard on that run. 4th and 1, ball on their own 37-yard line. Panthers are going for it. Wheeler still in the backfield with Howell. And they drew him off, Corey.
And that's exactly what Davidson needed to avoid, was that hard count. And Howell gave him that hard count on 4th and 2. We don't know whether they were actually going to run a play or not, but it doesn't matter because now the Panthers were able to get the first.
Dead ball. Offsides on the defensive team. It's a 5-yard penalty. The penalty will result in a 1st down.
Referee Tim Porter gives us the call there. I like his camouflage mask, Corey.
Yeah, my buddy Tim Porter. We referee basketball together, too. He's a veteran, white hat on the field.
Got a flag on the play there. While we have a flag, we'll take a look at the defense for Davidson. Tonight, the Warriors, they play out of a 3-4 where defensive end Nolan Asbury, you just mentioned his name, he's going to rush from the edge. Keep your eyes on inside linebacker number 33, Demetrius Johnson. He's going to be tackling from the inside with cornerback Jeremiah Martin trying to shut down those tall trees with Murphy from his cornerback position. If they do get past him, strong safety Justin Poe, he'll be waiting to make the tackle, a category in which he leads the team. The D-line is built for speed, Corey. They average 229 pounds.
Zandarius Williams, the inside linebacker, very active also for this Warrior defense.
1st and 15 for the Panthers. They connect with Tanaka Scott. Gets it back, close back to the original line of scrimmage, so it'll set the Panthers up with 2nd and 10.
And that's what you have to respect by Tanaka Scott. You know, you set up the short little pass to him, and all of a sudden he hits you with the little stutter and go route, and the next thing you know, Howell's throwing the deep ball to him, but positive yardage, gets back out close to the original line of scrimmage, going to bring up 2nd down and 10 yards to go for the Murphy Panthers.
60th time that these teams have met. Murphy leads the series 38-20 in one tie. That's why we kind of call it a Mobile Classic. Hand off to Theris Wheeler. Coming close to the numbers here, almost to the midfield stripe. Wheeler's going to get credit for about 3 or 4 yards. It'll take Murphy to 3rd and about 5 or maybe 6.
Justin Poe, coming from his strong safety position, led the team 9 solo tackles. He's 6 foot, 170-pound junior, but positive yardage gain by the Panthers, and it's going to bring up 3rd down and 5 from the Panthers' 48-yard line.
Good opening drive here from Murphy so far. Keeping the ball on the ground, feeding it to Wheeler. 1 pass out to Tanaka Scott. 1 penalty so far on this drive here for the Panthers and 1 for the Warriors. Coach Jackson continuing to feed that ball to Theris Wheeler, and he is tripped up right at the midfield stripe. It's going to bring up another 4th down for Murphy.
Xandarius Williams does a good job from his inside linebacker spot. Again, 5'11", 198-pound senior, making sure that he was going to go ahead and stay at home. Brings up the second 4th down of this opening drive for the Murphy Panthers. This one's going to be a little bit longer. 4th down and 3 yards to go with the ball squarely at the 50-yard line.
Howell looking to the sideline to get the call from Coach Jackson, the offensive coordinator, calling the plays, also the head coach as well. And it looks like maybe they'll take a timeout because Howell is just letting the play clock run down, of course. I think that's going to be the case here. Coach Rico Jackson calls a timeout, so at 7:08, the Panthers take a timeout. Let's take a look at the impact players while we have a break here, Corey.
Well, you know, when you start talking about impact players, it has to be players 1 week ago or throughout this season that are going to make a difference. And for Murphy, it's definitely Tanaka Scott, along with defensive tackle Jabyron Nettles. And for the Davidson Warriors, linebacker Demetrius Johnson and running back Jonathan Whitfield. When you see Whitfield hit the field, you'll see how hard and how aggressive he looks. He loves to strike. He loves that contact.
Yeah.
He loves to create the contact. And Tanaka Scott, when he has a jump ball or a ball that's in the air by Howell, he already has 1 reception tonight. You'll see him go get it. And Jabyron Nettles, he's that plugger, kind of puts you in the mindset of Taylor Stallworth, who's now playing with the Colts. And again, you just know that this young man is going to do whatever he needs to do to anchor this defensive line.
Corey, this game is kind of starting off like it did last year. I was watching last year's game earlier today, and Coach Rico Jackson took a timeout early in the first quarter. Last year, the score was only 13-7. The Panthers ended a 3-year losing streak to Davidson. And I remember you talking about Jonathan Whitfield. We called his name a lot last year. He's a very aggressive runner. And Jabyron Nettles on defense, man, last year all night you were calling their names during that broadcast.
And I can't forget about my main man, Neil Farrell, who's at LSU, and he won a national championship, a fine Murphy alum as well.
All right, here it is, 4th and 3. Empty set. Trips at the bottom, 2 receivers at the top. Howell fakes it to Tanaka Scott. And he's just trying to get a first down if he can, and he does as he goes out of bounds at about the 46-yard line. So that's first down for the Panthers, and they move the sticks.
And that's something you saw a season ago with Alex Howell, being able to go ahead and rush with his feet as well. He's a very accurate passer, and he's a very, very cerebral quarterback and a cerebral student in the classroom as well, as he was formerly our Crichton Optimist Club Player of the Week last year. And Theris Wheeler was the Crichton Optimist Club Player of the Week this year, coming off that 293 rushing yard performance. But first down for the Murphy Panthers. And
it looks as if we have another timeout. Coach Jackson has called another timeout, Corey. He makes no qualms. He'll burn all 3 of them in the first quarter if he has to.
Well, it's one of those situations where, again, you want to avoid those mental miscues early. You don't want to be behind the sticks. You want to make sure you have the correct personnel on the field.
All right, we're going to take a break and come back. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
When it comes to getting your child through school, at times it can be overwhelming.
What school to choose, what classes to take, how to apply for college.
To help answer these questions and more, we would like to invite you to join us on Parent Connect as we take an in-depth look at some of the issues and concerns you may have about your child's education.
So get connected with Parent Connect, weekly right here on the MCPSS TV network.
The MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. I'm Al Wheaton with Cora LeBounty on the sidelines. Mike Herndon covering the action. 1st and 10 right here for the Panthers. Alex Howell on the move. Could not connect with anyone. Is going to take a loss of about a yard on their play. It'll set up the Panthers for 2nd and 11.
Kelwan Carson from his outside linebacker position. 6'2", 187-pound senior. Had 3 solo tackles and 1 sack 1 week ago. Did a good job and getting a net loss for the Murphy Panthers there on 1st and 10. 2nd down and 11 yards to go now for Murphy.
Panthers dress out about 70 players. They have 28 seniors. It's a close-knit group, returning 6 on offense and 8 on defense. So the Panthers, one of the contenders in 7A Region 1. They'll toss out to Ferris Wheeler, and the Warriors are all over him. That one is shut down. That's going to be another loss, pushing the Panthers back to the midfield stripe. It's going to be 3rd and long for Murphy.
Demetrius Johnson does a wonderful job staying at home, along with, looks like Josh Honadale from his inside linebacker position, also staying home, rather his defensive end position, staying home, and a net loss for the Panthers. Now their longest deficit outside of that penalty to open up this drive back at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, Hollandale really got in there and stood him up, Corey. So Ladd is calling it 3rd and 14. Wheeler in the backfield with Howell. They'll quick out, they get to the receiver, and he's trying to make something happen. Khalil Johnson cannot. Gets close back to the original line of scrimmage, but this one's going to be 4th and long here, about 4th and 10, Corey.
Yeah, it's a situation now to where the Panthers, I think they've had 3 4th downs.
This will be the 3rd
on this opening drive here, and they're going to have to put it on their foot here possibly. It's going to be the official heat timeout here to open up the first quarter.
It is our heat timeout here. Let's take it down to the sidelines. I believe Mike Herndon has a special guest with him down there. What's going on, Mike?
I'm down here with a VIP from Murphy, Principal Joe Toomey. And tell us, Coach Toomey, this program's come a long way in the last couple of years. Tell us a little bit about the job Coach Rico Jackson has done.
Well, you know, we went from 3-8 the year before he got here to making the playoffs last year and going up to Auburn and having a good showing. We're undefeated so far this year, so he's really got it going in the right direction.
This is obviously a much different kind of school year with remote learning. Tell us a little bit about how it's going so far and what you're anticipating for the first 9 weeks.
Well, I mean, my teachers are in their rooms teaching every period, every day, and the students are there. They're engaged, so it's a lot like, you know, they were there. We miss them, and we wish we could be with them, but we're doing a fantastic job to reach them.
And what would your message be to your parents as we go through this 9 weeks of remote learning?
You know, they're not going to fall behind. We're going to make sure that they are on pace. This is not a time where we're just giving them grace.
All right, thank you, Mike. We do appreciate that. Davidson running onto the field. Murphy decided to punt on that one, Corey. 4th and 10. I think Coach Jackson didn't want to take a risk right there at midfield.
Yeah, what you do, you essentially flip the field. Now you're going to make this Davidson Warrior offense come out and try to grind this out from their own 16-yard line.
Michael Brown is the junior quarterback leading the Warriors. We'll get their lineup on there for you in a second. Brown keeps it, picks up a couple of yards, maybe 2 or 3. It'll be 2nd and long here for the Warriors.
The biggest thing for this Davidson Warrior team, as we talked to Coach Cawley, is this is a very young offensive line that is starting tonight. A lot of late-minute changes this week in practice due to Coach Cawley saying, hey, I've got a lot of young guys, and I need to go ahead and make sure that this young offensive line, once that ball is snapped, as it just was, they'll settle into the game. And anytime you can get positive yardage on first down, that's always a plus for the young guys up front.
Looks about 2nd and 6 here for the Warriors. Whitfield lined up just to the left. I'm sorry, not Whitfield. Brown keeps that, and it was a high snap, and look at him go. Actually, they substituted someone else in. That's not Micah Brown.
Yeah, it is. It is Micah Brown.
Okay, gotcha, Course. Appreciate that check. Michael Brown did carry that one. So 1st down as the Warriors really go with it.
Nice little read option right there. He decided to pull it out of the belly because he didn't see anybody in the defense collapsing. He decided to keep it himself, and he gets over 25 yards. And now Davidson with a nice offensive opening series here on the first 3 plays.
Timeout, I believe Coach Rico Jackson has called his last timeout, Corey.
And, you know, it's him and Coach Sumter both they believe in burning those timeouts, and they don't believe in going home with them. And, you know, you look at right here, we're already close to Murphy High School, and he said, I can't go back home with them back across the tracks to North Carlin Street, so I'm going to go ahead and burn them right here at Ladd Stadium and go ahead and make sure my team is organized. Now, here's the downside of that. If you don't execute your 2-minute drives or down the stretch here at the end of the first or the start of the second quarter, you may need those timeouts, and they're no longer available to you.
So the Warriors run on the field, 1st and 10, ball sitting at their own 48-yard line. Double stack receivers for the Warriors. Whitfield on the run, and Corey, he is running backwards for a significant loss, but they're going to probably go forward progress, probably about 4 or 5 yards, so it'll be 2nd and 14 for the Warriors.
You see that big plugger, Jabiron Nettles, the defensive tackle, making sure if you're going to run backwards, you're going to run into my arms, and you're going to continue to lose yardage. 2nd down and close to 13 yards to go from the Warriors' 45-yard line.
So they progress. He lost about 4 yards on that one. Same formation for the Warriors, double stack receivers, 1 man in motion. They're going to go back to Whitfield again. And that stifling Panthers line says no, Corey. Maybe 1 yard on that. It's 3rd and long for Davidson.
So the good thing for the Davidson Warriors is they're able to get their defense over there on the sidelines resting, as here it is, going to be 3rd down and 11 yards to go from their own 47-yard line. And again, you have those quick bubble passes that are available for this Davidson Warrior team, and offensive coordinator John Williams does a great job in dialing up the plays for this Davidson Warrior offense.
We're notched at 0 here at Ladd Stadium, approaching 2 minutes. Brown trying to get out the pocket. He does escape, does have a man, and that ball is dropped. Incomplete as he tried to connect with Denarius Brown. It's 4th down for Davidson.
That's one of those plays that can make a difference in the contest. That's a drive killer as he was able to scramble outside the pocket and put it on the money to Denarius Brown, and he just wasn't able to come away with the 5'11", 160-pound senior. Has 4 receptions for 21 yards on the season, but now the Warriors will have to put it on their foot and punt it away.
Jonah DeLonga on to punt, and back to receive Khalil Johnson, setting up at his own 13-yard line. DeLonga gets a nice kick off. And Davidson's going to down that ball right at the 20, so Murphy will take over. 2:10 remains in the first quarter, and Corey, this is their 2nd possession of the first quarter. That was Davidson's first. You can see Coach Rico Jackson going back to the well over and over with Ferris Wheeler, but eating clock at the same time.
And that was a good sustained drive right up until the time it bogged down right around the 50 or the 45-yard line.
Right.
They're going to hope to try to drain or bleed this clock, but Ferris Wheeler, folks, if he gets outside into the 2nd level of this Davidson Warrior defense, it will be an absolute track race because this young man can flat out fly. But here on 1st and 10 at your own 20, I think this is where you take your shot, to me, on Tanaka Scott Jr. sometime down this field.
Scott lined up here at the bottom of the screen. They're going to go back to Wheeler. He does a little spin move up the middle, gets credit for about 2 yards. It'll be 2nd and 8 for the Panthers.
And sometimes you use Tanaka Scott Jr. as your decoy, but this is a young man at 6'3", 6'4", who has excellent hands. Not much of a decoy when you see his presence on the field. Again, you're in no man's land on an island by yourself trying to defend him, and that's how Wheeler was able to establish that great running game last week.
And he's a great athlete. We didn't get to talk about it during the punt. Mike Herndon was talking to Principal Toomey, but Tanaka Scott is also the punter for the Murphy Panthers. So very well-skilled athlete. 2nd and 8. Howell's looking for a room to get in and maybe picks up a yard or 2. As the Warriors collapsed on him, they contained. They did not let him get out on the edge, Corey.
Doing a great job of containment, making sure that Howell does not bust out of that pocket and get an explosive play or an explosive run, as we have 1 minute remaining here in the first quarter of action, and it's been back and forth. Murphy's 2nd offensive possession here. They really had success running the football a week ago against Foley, and that's what they've come in with the mindset to do tonight as well.
Yeah, Wheeler ran for 293 last week. Howell gets that ball out, brought in by Tanaka Scott, and that's going to be a first down. We talked about his height. No, I'm sorry, not Scott on that particular. Reginald Jones hauls that one in, Corey. I'm telling you, they're all trees. They average 6'2" with all the wideouts.
And again, Coach Rico Jackson is going to go with what the defense gives him. If he sees that Wheeler's being bottled up offensively, he's going to go ahead and throw the football with a lot of success because these corners are playing a little press coverage tight on these wide receivers, and that's why it's so important. If you don't jam or press the wide receivers at the line of scrimmage, they're going to run that go route because I see they have help over the top. Do the safeties, or the safeties are there for help over the top, but if you run a good route, they're not going to be able to help you.
All right, Murphy's just going to let the clock run out, and we're going to take a break and come back. The first quarter is over already. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
Hello, I'm Renee Phillips, your host of Homeroom. Will you join us as we talk with the students, teachers, and staff about all of the great things happening in our schools?
That's right, Renee. Not only are we here to keep you informed about the great things happening in our schools, but to also keep you updated on safety issues.
Our show, Safe Schools, looks at ways to keep your child and our students safe.
Not only are we looking at ways to keep your child and our students safe, but to keep you informed on how to connect with us.
Manténgase informado aquí en Conexión a Padres.
And we also score big from pre-K to high school with MCPSS Athletics.
And then Inside Education puts it all together for you, showing you the ins and outs about news and events taking place across the Mobile County Public School District. We do this to keep you informed.
Welcome back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Yes, Labor Day is upon us. Monday, September 7th, all schools and offices are closed with the Mobile County Public School System. And, Cora, we know we had a late start to the school year this year, so my kids had a 4-day work week this week, and next week they get a 4-day work week next week.
I know everyone's excited, and, again, as excited as this high school football is as well.
And, yes, that we are playing ball here. Khalil Johnson down the edge right there, and that's going to be enough for a first down as the chains will move and the Panthers keep moving and close to being into Warriors territory.
Great job of faking the tall sweep and then giving it to the up back right there. The defense has to stay honest and stay at home, but the Panthers were able to pick up a first down. 1st and 10 Murphy from their own 49-yard line. Just a well-executed play.
Fake to Wheeler. Little play action. Howell's got a guy. He's trying to reach Scott. And Murphy wanting the flag, thinking contact was there, but no flag comes out.
Good defense by the Warriors as seen as through the eyes of the officials. Now you're looking at a situation to where you just came out to get the first down and did a nice little fake toss, and that kept the defense honest. And in that situation, Howell rolls out of the out of the pocket, and good defense by the Davidson Warriors.
There's a shot of the RSA Tower there, lit up in purple. As we are here at legendary Lad People Stadium, our first down here at Lad Corey, and a little different. We're not in the press box. The press box is closed, only open for PA and game clock and official. We're actually at the top of the bleachers on the west side at the 50-yard line. Howell goes, well, did he put the ball on the ground? I guess he did not. That's still a live play. I thought the ball touched, but Tim Porter was right back there looking, Corey, so that's a live play.
And as long as his knee does not touch, he can go ahead and have that ball hit the ground as it did, and he was able to gather his balance as you look right there as he continues to scramble out. Great footwork, great pursuit, by the Davidson Warrior defender on that play, and he does a good job of kind of making and trying to get back to the line of scrimmage, but 3rd down and 4 yards to go from the Warriors' 45-yard line.
As you can see, Corey, we got a shot coming up from our buddy Richard Beatty down there right at the 50. Tim Porter was talking to the officials' crew, just want to verify some things and make sure they're okay. But it is 3rd and 4, not enough for the 1st down. Great run by Howell, as they're now going to put the ball into play. Dumps it out to Darius Wheeler, incomplete. Corey, he could have picked up the 1st down.
It's a situation to where that easiest throw is sometimes the hardest throw. And he just had to dump it out into the flat to Wheeler, was unable to come away with it. It's one he would like to have back, but Coach Rico Jackson going ahead and go for it again on 4th down. And this is so far, if I'm not mistaken now, the 4th down of the first half for the Murphy Panthers. And if they convert this, again, the Davidson Warriors, I'm starting to see a lot of hands on the hips on this defensive line for the Davidson Warriors.
Howell rolls out to his right. Cannot find anyone. Still has the ball. Does have a man downfield. Incomplete. So it'll be ball over on downs, as the Panthers are 2 for 4 tonight on 4th down. But there's a flag on the play right in front of the Murphy bench.
And when you're looking at that, it's probably in the area of some type of holding against the Panthers, as they were trying to fend off. And if it is turnover on downs, nonetheless, Tim Porter will give us our call.
During the play, it was an ineligible downfield on the offensive team. The penalty is declined. 1st down, Davidson.
Take it down to the sidelines and check in with Mike Herndon.
We've got 2 teams here with very young offensive lines, and the play in the trenches is being a factor so far and will be a factor tonight, particularly on the Davidson side. This is a team that doesn't have a lot of big play capability. They've got to put a lot of drives together, and they're very young and also very banged up, Coach tells me, on the offensive line. Keep an eye on that tonight.
Double pass for the Warriors, and it is complete. That's a touchdown as the Warriors get it completed to Jalen Nash. I believe that was Luke McGowan with the pass, Corey, to Jalen Nash. And that's a touchdown for Davidson.
A little trickeration by the Warriors.
Wow.
Gets them on the board first. You look at the throwback, and McGowan, the hardest throw is by this young man, McGowan. He has to put it on the money, catch Jalen Nash in stride. A couple of weeks ago, or last week rather, there were some dropped balls, some dropped opportunities. Nash was not going to make sure he dropped that football. Got 6 for the Warriors.
Great throw by McGowan and a great haul in by Jalen Nash. DeLongo puts the extra point up, and it is good. Davidson on top, 7-0. Boy, we're heating up. It's the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
My name is Harshini. I'm a junior at Davidson High School, and after graduation, I plan on pursuing a career in dermatology. Currently, I'm taking science classes such as AP Chemistry, Biology, and Human Anatomy, which will help me pursue my career. I feel as though Mobile County is preparing me for my career choice in that they provide rigorous classes that help me think further beyond just what I'm learning. I'm Harshini Cannon, a junior at Davidson High School, and I'm learning today so I can be a leader tomorrow.
On a double pass from Micah Brown to Luke McGowan, who tosses it 55 yards to Jalen Nash, and they go up 7-0 as we are live here at legendary Lab People Stadium. Corey, here's the replay.
A great job dialing up by offensive coordinator John Williams. He had to do his homework and film work, and a good job of execution by Luke McGowan, throwing the ball on the money to Jalen Nash as they go ahead and jump on the Murphy Panthers early here at Lab People Stadium. But again, credit the call of offensive coordinator John Williams for that and dialing that up, especially after the turnover on downs, knowing, hey, guys, we have a young offensive line. Give us a little time to make that throw. And they went ahead, and the defenders for Murphy went ahead and got caught looking in the backfield. And because they got caught looking in the backfield, that's what allowed Nash to go untouched, and there was not a defender probably within 10 yards of him.
Oh, no, it was nothing but green grass. And, Corey, I looked at my notes. I had one note from the first quarter. Murphy went for it 3 times on 4th down, and that was it. And I flipped the paper over, and there it was, almost the second or third play in the second quarter. Davidson gets a touchdown.
And that's exactly what the Davidson Warriors needed. Again, they scored early and often on Daphne. I say often, they were the first ones to score one week ago on a nice sustained 80-yard drive. Come back right here and are able to score early here as we start the second quarter of play. That does wonders for your confidence. Now you have to find a way to sustain it defensively. You gave your defense an opportunity to rest right there, and now you're going to have to get a stop. If you can get back-to-back stops, you'll be in great shape.
Yeah, Murphy's going to get the ball right now. We saw them run a lot. They can't seem to connect with the receivers. A couple passes they've gotten through. But the one thing, Davidson is shutting down that Murphy running game to a certain degree, Corey.
Special teams are going to be huge right here as we've seen Murphy cross the 50-yard line probably on 3 out of the 4 drives that they've had.
Deshaun Brooks and Khalil Johnson back to receive. Brooks takes that one. Oh, he's at the bottom and on the near side, Corey, and he's got a lot of room, just waiting for some more blockers as he is in Warriors territory. Great run back from Deshaun Brooks.
Special teams. As we're going to see a couple of flags being thrown on the play, one at about the 34-yard line and the other one at the opposite 37-yard line. But as you look at this wedge, that is a return situation for the Panthers, doing a great job, possibly a block in the back right there. That's very evident. Our crew has done a great job on replays this season, on bringing them back to us very quickly so we can see, and we definitely saw the block in the back right there that did occur.
So two blocks in the back, and Davidson will accept one of those. So that great field position is wiped out with the penalty. I know Coach Jackson is probably livid after that.
Yeah, you have a good and positive return that's negated, but you're looking at this Murphy Panther team, and they are, again, explosive.
During the return, there were 2 penalties on the play by the returning team. Block in the back, penalty was declined. Block in the back, that penalty will be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. It'll be a first down, Murphy ball.
Tim Porter giving us that great call as both of those right there were against the Panthers. Now 10:49 remaining here in the second quarter. Murphy taking over at their own 25.
Wheeler in the backfield. Little quick out. They're trying to get that screen set up for Tanaka Scott, and no, it is shut down by the Warriors. They are big on defense tonight.
And that's what it's going to take. It's going to take that defensive effort that you got. And Demetrius Johnson, the outside linebacker, goes ahead and wraps up Tanaka Scott to make sure he doesn't get any yards after the catch. It's going to be a 4-yard loss on the play, bringing up 2nd down and 14 yards to go for the Murphy Panthers.
The war on the Eastern Shore taking place tonight. Daphne on top of Fairhope 14-7 with 9 minutes remaining in the second quarter. That's a big ball game. 2 outstanding quarterbacks, Riley Leonard and Trent Battle, doing battle tonight on the Eastern Shore, Corey. 2
of the state's best, and a nice crowd here at Lab Peoples Stadium to enjoy Friday night high school football action.
Both bands are here. I don't know if they're going to take the field at halftime. We'll find out. But I will say this, the Davidson band has been going all night long, Corey.
And they're such a part of this high school atmosphere. You have your cheerleaders and your band members who go through the same type of sweat equity throughout the entire offseason also.
Sides on the defensive team, the 5-yard penalty will remain 2nd down.
So Davidson is going to give Murphy 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 9 here. Ball on their own 26-yard line. They break the huddle with an empty set. They put the 3 receivers at the top. Howell's trying to escape the Warriors' rush, and they have been rushing him well tonight, running him out of bounds at about the 22-yard line.
I love the strategy by defensive coordinator Kelly Eubanks. Jeremiah Martin starts on press coverage on Tanaka Scott, and then he bails out 10 yards into the play to make sure he does not get beat on the deep ball. So they'll give up anything underneath. Now it's going to be 3rd down and 13 yards to go. And Howell wanted to go to Scott on that play, but because Martin bailed out 10 yards, he could not go to the deep ball and could not get his feet underneath him to throw it. So, again, good job by this Davidson defense implementing their strategy of what they saw on film this past week.
3rd and long for the Panthers. It's 3rd and 13 on their own 22. They're going to give it to Wheeler, and he's up the middle. Going to be tackled right at the 25-yard line. So it'll be 4th down and about 10 yards for Murphy, and I believe on comes the punting crew.
And that's what you have to do. You have to flip the field in this situation. The clock is still running. Davidson's defense was able to get off the field, which is a plus for them. And now Murphy's going to not bring Tanaka Scott on the punt, but someone else is going to be punting for the Panthers.
McDaniel on the punt. He does get the punt off. Justin Poe back to receive. He's going to run away from it. It takes a Panthers bounce. Great punt by McDaniel. That ball being downed at the Davidson 23-yard line. You got to thank some folks over at Future Ones. If you want to get some gear for your team, if it's team apparel or equipment, reach out to Future Ones. From baseball to wrestling, all sports in between. Wear the future with Future Ones. Also, shout out to Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs and save more lives. A portion of your subs purchase will go to the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation. Big thanks to Jim and Susie Sherman at the Greenlight Road location. Corey, I had the honor and the privilege of picking up the food for the crew, and I heard the young lady ask a customer, would you like to make a donation to the Firehouse Sub Foundation?
And a great organization, Firehouse. Thank you so much for feeding our crew. Jim, getting it done for us.
All right, the Warriors on the field after that big touchdown they had. Jonathan Whitfield tries to get his legs up underneath him, probably maybe 1 or 2 yards as we approach the 8-minute mark in the second quarter. Corey, you talked about something earlier about the kids being happy to even play ball and we'd be out tonight. Here, Coach Rico Jackson told me he tells his kids all the time they're really blessed to be playing football right now. Look at the Big Ten. They canceled. The NBA's in a bubble. It's unprecedented. Don't take it for granted. Enjoy what you're doing. He says, I want to go to church. I can't even get in the building. You guys get to play football. So don't take this for granted while you're out here. As the Panthers do respond, that's a short game for Whitfield. It's 3rd down.
The biggest thing is this clock continues to run as this Davidson Warrior team is able to try to, the young offensive line of this Warrior offensive team is able to kind of catch its breath and know that they have a job to execute. Going to bring up a long 3rd down and 6 in this situation. It'll be interesting to see what Michael Brown is able to do with his feet as he's been able to scramble here in the first half and create something out of nothing.
Brown's going to dump it off to Nash. We didn't get to put up Davidson's offense. A lot of things were happening earlier, but they like to run a 1-2 punch with Whitfield and Nash, so sometimes they'll line up Nash in the slot and throw him the ball just like they did right there.
That's pitch and catch. That's the hardest pass because you saw Alex Howell miss that pass to Wheeler earlier for the Panthers, but Davidson was able to convert that, and I see a lot of fans like those black matte helmets that Davidson sporting with that big D and the arrow going through it.
So it's a first down, double stack receivers for the Warriors. They hand it off to Nash, and boy, he's going up the middle. That's a first down, Corey, as he's trying to get to the midfield stripe, brought down about the 47 real hard by the Panthers. One of the Panthers kind of late getting up right there. Another first down for Davidson.
Running extremely hard on that particular run, but that is because the big holes and the inability to wrap up and tackle by the Murphy Panthers, that's a sign of being fatigued. Anytime you start going for the arm tackles and they're able to start shedding them, that means that you are a little bit winded and you do a better job of breaking down and wrapping up the ball carrier.
They're going to spot it at the 49-yard line. Warriors go with the jet sweep, coming around the edge and getting plenty room on the move for the Warriors. Javonte Johnson.
Going to be right close to that
right
stick.
on it, Corey.
And I do believe he's going to have enough to get it, to be honest with you. is going to be enough for that first down, and the ball's going to be right at the Panthers' 41-yard line. Defensive coordinator Tellis Stone trying to get the adjustments in to this Panther defense.
Hand off to Whitfield, and boy, he is met with the Panthers. No gain right there, Corey.
And that's exactly the adjustment that Tellis wanted his defense to make, as they were able to come away with a big, important stop on first down for negative yards. Second down and 11 yards to go now for the Warriors from the Panthers' 42-yard line.
Next dead ball, we will receive a heat timeout. Brown steps into the pocket, steps out. He's still free. He's going to keep it, tuck it, pick up a couple yards, little stutter step. He got about 7 or 8 on that, Corey.
All I can say is, wow. You look
Yeah.
at the start-stop ability of this young quarterback who does a great job. Micah Brown absolutely freezes the defender. You look at Micah Brown, drives back, stops, puts on the brakes, and all of a sudden he spins out of it. A great offensive move and move,
Wow.
and that's going to lead to the heat timeout here in the second quarter here at Lab People Stadium.
5:38 here, so we'll take a heat timeout and get some information up for you. We're going to share with you as well. Need some help with your homework? Simply log on to homeworkalabama.org for free homework help, tutoring, and test prep. That's homeworkalabama.org. And we know right now, speaking of home, a lot of things are taking place at the home with virtual teaching as well. Also, speaking of that, if you're having technical difficulties with your online learning, simply follow these steps. Let your teacher know, communicate it. Also, reach out and call your school. If you're still having issues, give this number a call, 221-7777. That's 221-7777, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. And these are very important steps we need to know right now, especially with virtual learning going on the first 9 weeks, Corey. So it's looking like all the way up into the first week of November. So how's it going for you, Ms. LaBounty?
I tell you, virtual learning is something that's very exciting.
It is.
For the young folks, and you know, they're already technologically savvy. You know, they love to get on the video games and play, and it's a situation now to where you're able to interact with your teacher just like you would FaceTiming your friends. So I just love the ability of the students to be able to interact online and just make sure it's a safe environment for our kids, and the superintendent's done a wonderful job of that here in the Mobile County.
Corey, I
School
agree.
System.
Full disclosure, my wife is a school teacher here in the school system, but right now, being at the house with the twins, I do kind of understand what she's going through every day, brother. Kind of. But I do look forward to the lunch roll. And speaking of lunch, we're going to talk to someone at halftime about the lunch program. But I'm enjoying kind of getting the lunches together, have them ready. I say, what you want? You know, they'll say, Dad, we want this today. So I go in there and do my thing. So I'm enjoying that part of it.
It is an interesting time in society, but it's something that we're going to overcome. And, again, the technology that's available for these young people, virtual learning, is here.
Whitfield picks up a first down. Neither of these teams have gotten into the red zone. Davidson scored on a 55-yard pass from Luke McGowan to Jalen Nash. It was actually a double pass, but they were approaching the red zone. Now they're going backwards as we approach 5 minutes left here in the first half.
But if you look at our score now, the Davidson Warriors were able to score on the double pass. They're leading the Murphy Panthers 7-0 here in this huge 7A Region 1 matchup. The Davidson Warriors, with this young offensive line up front, are very happy with having this lead. And Tellis Stone and his defense are trying to find a way to turn this Davidson Warrior over, this team over, because, again, you look at the momentum, you see a lot of Murphy Panthers fans sitting on their hands, haven't really had the ability to get into the game yet.
2nd and 13 here for the Warriors. Set up the screen as Brown gets it out to Jalen Nash, and boy, he's got some room, tries to cut back. Gets it to about the 13, maybe 14-yard line. That 1-2 punch of Nash and Whitfield is something else.
I tell you, John Williams is doing a wonderful job. As we take a look at the instant replay, Micah Brown with a nice little flick pass out of the backfield, hitting Jalen Nash. Already has one receiving touchdown on the night, and that was a 55-yard touchdown reception from Luke McGowan, a wide receiver on the double pass. But Davidson back in business, 1st and 10 from the Panthers' 13-yard line.
Warriors are in the red zone. They're going back to Nash, and boy, the Panthers wrap him up. They'll have none of that as they attack him, and that's going to be for a loss. They'll take about a 2 or 3 yard loss on that one.
You want to see the Panthers get into the backfield because, again, this defense has been on the field and almost entirely too long here in the second quarter as Davidson has been able to sustain a lot of drives. 3:40 remaining here in the second quarter of action. Now you have second down and about 16 yards to go for the Warriors.
Brown is sacked. He tries to throw it away, and Tim Porter throws the flag. I think what we know that's going to be grounding on the young man because he was not outside of the tackle box, just tried to throw that one away. He was going to take the sack.
And that's something that they're going to talk about, whether he was already in the grasp and he whistled him
as they
down.
discuss it, right.
He did go ahead and throw the penalty flag, and he always has the ability to wave it off, but you like the communications of the officials, and Tim Porter's getting ready to make the call. Tim Porter goes ahead and does signal the intentional grounding, and that's going to be costly because you look at the 19-yard line is where this drive was for the Davidson Warriors, and now you're going to back the football up almost all the way to the 38-yard line.
Intentional grounding on the offensive team. It's a 5-yard penalty. The loss of down. Third down.
That's the part that hurts, Corey, the loss of down. As you take a look at our officials tonight, not only do you get your yardage, but you have to take the loss of down. 3rd and 25, 1/4 of the football field. As I look at the scoreboard, Corey, I notice Murphy still has 1 timeout on the board, and Davidson has 3. So I wonder if that's an oversight. I thought Rico Jackson took 3 timeouts. Michael Brown tries to go up the middle and just salvage something. And, boy, he is uprooted by the Panthers.
Great textbook tackle by Jaquan Evans, the defensive end. He's a senior, had 2.5 sacks a week ago, did a good job of staying home. It's going to make Davidson flip the field right here and pin Murphy deep into their own territory with 3 minutes remaining here in the second quarter.
DeLonga on to punt. No one back to receive this punt for the Panthers. Looks like they're going to send the house.
We're going to have a timeout.
I believe Davidson's going to call a timeout right here. So Rick Carley's going to take a timeout. Just got a text from one of my buddies, Saraland, up 21-0 over McGill in that ball game. And Daphne extends their lead to 21-7 on top of Fairhope in the Battle of the Eastern Shore. We got a good battle right here, Corey, 7-0. It's kind of wrapping up like it was last year, a low-scoring affair with a lot of ground activity going on.
13-7 was our final score 1 year ago between both of these teams. But when you're the Murphy Panthers and you have not been able to score after having that offensive explosion 1 week ago, credit this Davidson defense of bouncing back after Daphne scored 42 unanswered points 1 week ago. This Davidson Warrior team got back and reestablished themselves, especially with all the injuries and that has occurred this week for the Davidson Warriors. As again, we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, they have a lot of young offensive linemen on the football field tonight, but it's going to be important here to go ahead and make sure you have a clean snap and pin this Murphy Panther team deep and make them drive the length of the field to try to score here with 2:36 remaining here in the second quarter.
We don't have the Chick-fil-A halftime trivia challenge like we normally do, but we'll take a look at the Alabama Sports Writers Association top 10 polls, also put up some region standings, and we'll talk to a young lady who will tell us more about the food services program that's going on right now with the Mobile County Public School System. And Corey, I must say for my household, it's going pretty good. I like how they have the system set up. Sometimes it'll be a line, and sometimes it may not be a line. Depends on what time you get there. But we're going to talk to her at halftime as well, so stick around. A lot of people have questions about, how the pickup programs work, so we're going to address that at halftime. 2:29 remains here in the first half. Corey, what do you think Coach Rico Jackson is going to dial up right now? He's got to get this ball down the field. He's about 79 yards away from hitting pay dirt.
Well, again, the biggest thing for this Davidson Warrior defense is they continue to bump and play off of the wide receivers, not getting beat over the top, and they'll bail out in coverage to make sure they don't get beat over the top. But I think Murphy's going to have to continue to take their shots down the field.
All right, direct snap to Tanaka Scott. They're dialing it up a bit. He picks up about 9 yards on that carry.
That's a big-time run by the Murphy Panthers as they change it up a little bit. And you do see Tanaka Scott Jr. go ahead and line up in the Wildcat formation, giving Alex Howell a quick little breather here with 2:10 remaining in the second quarter.
Howell back in the ball game, and he's going to line up as a wideout. Direct snap to Scott again. Up the middle he goes. But the Warriors are ready for that one, Corey.
And the biggest thing that you and I witnessed is we saw 3 timeouts being called by the Murphy Panthers team.
Right.
And head coach Rico Jackson all in the first quarter. And I mentioned when you get to this 2-minute drill situation, it may come back to bite you because you don't have those timeouts to utilize right now. And 1:54 remaining here. We're going to see, I didn't see a penalty flag down, but it looks like the officials and Tim Porter's discussing with his crew.
Yeah. The play clock hasn't started yet, but they're discussing something, and a timeout has not been signaled for either team. So was there a penalty, I believe?
Illegal procedure.
There we are. It was a penalty against Murphy. So there was a mysterious flag somewhere on the field that neither us or the camera crew could pick up, Corey. So that'll push the Panthers back 5 yards.
On the offensive team, it's a 5-yard penalty will remain. First down.
Now, that could have happened because they brought in Howell, then moved him and lined him up at wideout. Maybe someone wasn't set long enough, but he's back now taking the snap.
They'll get it right back.
And there's the 5 yards back with an offsides.
But, you know, after Tim Porter makes this call as to officially what it is, I think that Murphy's going to continue to have to take their shots down the field. Even though Davidson's cornerbacks are bailing out, what I mean by bailing is they're backpedaling.
Dead ball, offsides, defensive team, 5-yard penalty will remain. First down.
They're backpedaling before the ball is even snapped.
Right.
I would go ahead and play jump ball. Tanaka Scott, probably 6'3", 6'4". He can just out-jump, and I think that's where you're going to have to go if you're the Murphy Panthers to have success.
Howell gets that ball complete to Reginald Jones. And he starts upfield and is immediately brought backfield by the Warriors. They're going to give him forward progress, maybe for about a yard or maybe 2 there. It'll be second down and long here for the Panthers.
Jacody Harris with the textbook tackle there for the Davidson Warriors. And now you're looking at second down and 8 yards to go from the Panthers' 34-yard line. And the Panthers, they don't have, to our knowledge, any timeouts remaining. So every route that they run, they have to do it heading towards the out of bounds.
Howell fakes it up the middle, comes to the near side, and the Warriors are continuing to collapse on him, Corey, trying to keep him contained, not letting him get outside, because kid's got some speed.
Doing a good job of staying home. We have seen Alex Howell's speed, but when you see white jerseys in front of you, especially numerous white jerseys, that means the Davidson Warrior defense is doing a good job. But no sense of urgency here in this 2-minute offense by the Panthers to try to go ahead and hurry up. I think they're content either to let the clock run out, trailing 7-0 here, and possibly run just one more play here in the first half.
They will have to snap it one more time. Play clock is under 10 seconds, and there's 10 seconds now on the game clock, so this looking to be the last play of the first half. But he steps out of bounds with 5 seconds remaining on the game clock, ball at the 46-yard line. He does pick up the first down, so it looks like maybe one big heave play coming up right here, Corey.
Yeah, it's a situation to where when you look at this Panther offense, they have their hands on their hips as well. So it's weird because they look a little bit more tired than the Davidson defense, and now Davidson has gone total prevent defense as their deepest defenders are some 30 yards away from the football.
No surprise here at all. I believe Davidson's going to call a timeout. No. Flag on the play. False start against Murphy, so that'll push them back 5 more yards.
Dead ball. False start on the offensive team. The 5-yard penalty will remain. First down.
All right, Corey, so the ball's at their own 46-yard line. 4 seconds remain, and it looks as if Davidson's lined up for a kickoff because the prevent defense is out, and they go with the handoff to Ferris Wheeler, and he is brought down right at the line of scrimmage, and that's going to take us to halftime.
Demetrius Johnson does a wonderful job, again, staying at home, and what a great first half of action if you're a Davidson Warrior, especially coming off of the embarrassment of Daphne scoring 42 unanswered points. They've definitely answered the call here for Warrior Nation, and they've made the adjustments here. Again, another half of football yet to be played, but a good one so far if you're a Warrior fan.
This kind of reminds me of a good baseball contest where the score might be 2-0, and it's a pitcher's duel kind of going on. And that's what's happening. You talked about the conditioning of the players and some of the Murphy Panthers holding their hips. Coach Rico Jackson told us they weren't really conditioned last week. They ran out of gas as they played against Foley. They got tired, and you could kind of see some of that tonight. Speaking of Coach Jackson, let's go down to the sidelines. Mike is going to have Coach Jackson not quite ready. So that's interesting. He talked about that, Corey.
One big play, one pass for 55 yards, and it was a double pass that got our first score of the game.
Let's take it down to Mike Herndon with Coach Jackson.
Coach Jackson, obviously not the start you wanted. Tell me a little bit about, you talked about mistakes being a problem. You wanted to clean up. Had a few more this first half. What do you need to do to clean it up the second half?
We just got to play harder. To me, Davidson playing harder than us. They wanted more than us. So we're going to come back out, get that correct, and see if we can get things changed around.
Ferris Wheeler had a great game last week. Hadn't been able to get moving this week. I know you're a little young up front. Do you see the trenches being the key battleground here?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to make some corrections, make sure we get better, and we're going to see if we can come out and change things.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck the second half.
All right, thank you, Mike. We appreciate that. He's right. They cannot get Wheeler going right now, Corey.
And that's the biggest thing. Tanaka Scott Jr. also has not been involved. You see him try to get him in the Wildcat position to try to get him some more touches.
All right, we're going to come back with halftime. Davidson on top, 7-0. Oh, it's a good one. The MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
A teacher is one of the biggest investors in a community.
They impact the lives of those we value the most.
Teachers share knowledge which helps shape and mold our future leaders.
Teachers show direction and help build a sense of purpose. Are you ready to make a change? For more information on teaching opportunities, teacher incentives, or to apply with the Mobile County Public Schools, log on to www.mcpss.com.
From birth up until school age, you know, he was a fast developer, fast learner. He was always a happy person. Every time you seen him, he had a smile on his face. The day I lost my son, I got that phone call. It was like my whole world just stopped. All I wanted to do was see my son, and I wasn't able to see my son until I had to go to the funeral homes. I think that was one of the hardest things that a parent has to do.
Each month, more than 90 guns are reported stolen from unlocked vehicles, creating the potential of serious injury or death.
Lock it up.
Many violent acts and crimes are committed with stolen guns.
Lock it up.
According to ATF, stolen guns pose a substantial threat to public safety.
Lock it up.
Be responsible. Take time to record your handgun serial number and secure it from thieves. Lock it up.
Lock it up for me.
When it comes to getting your child through school, at times it can be overwhelming.
What school to choose, what classes to take, how to apply for college.
To help answer these questions and more, we would like to invite you to join us on Parent Connect as we take an in-depth look at some of the issues and concerns you may have about your child's education.
So get connected with Parent Connect, weekly right here on the MCPSS TV network.
We welcome you back to the MCPSS High School football game of the week. Davidson on top 7-0. Corey, what's your impression of the first half? And also we got some stats here from our buddy China Powell.
China Powell does a great job keeping us informed. And the biggest thing, Murphy has 113 rushing yards to Davidson's 66. You look at the passing yards, 55 passing yards by Davidson. That was on the one double pass that led to our only score of the game. Total yards are pretty much even. Murphy has 125 total yards. Davidson has 121. No turnovers by either team. 5 penalties by Murphy, 4 by Davidson. But the biggest thing is the inability of the Murphy Panthers to convert on fourth down. As we saw them have 4 fourth down conversions in the first half alone that led to no points on the field. A lot of time elapsed on the clock, but it didn't lead to a score. And because of it, now you're looking at our score here at halftime, 7-0 in favor of the Davidson Warriors.
Davidson up 7-0 with that 55-yard double pass from Michael Brown to Luke McGowan to Jalen Nash. And they only got into the red zone one time, Corey. And matter of fact, only one time for both teams, and then as soon as Davidson got in the red zone, they were out of the red zone, going backwards on penalties.
Yeah, they had an opportunity to add more points on the board, but weren't able to do so in that situation, and you have to credit this Murphy Panther defense for bending and not breaking in that situation.
All right, we're going to take a break and come back and talk about the food services program going on right now with the Mobile County Public School System. Don't move.
At Mobile County Public Schools, we believe it starts with us. That's why we offer Signature Academies.
Hello, I'm Jordan Clark, and I'm in the Health Service Academy at John L. LaFleur Magnet High School. My future career is to be an obstetrician gynecologist. With this academy, I'm learning firsthand from people already working in the industry. Shadowing them on the job really makes me want to study hard and work harder towards my career goals.
Signature Academies are open to all students in Mobile County Public High Schools. Visit mcpss.com.
Hello, I'm Renee Phillips, your host of Homeroom. Will you join us as we talk with the students, teachers, and staff about all of the great things happening in our schools?
That's right, Renee. Not only are we here to keep you informed about the great things happening in our schools, but to also keep you updated on safety issues.
Our show, Safe Schools, looks at ways to keep your child and our students safe.
Not only are we looking at ways to keep your child and our students safe, but to keep you informed on how to connect with us.
Manténgase informado aquí en Conexión a Padres.
And we also score big from pre-K to high school with MCPSS athletics.
And then Inside Education puts it all together for you, showing you the ins and outs about news and events taking place across the Mobile County Public School District. We do this to keep you informed.
We welcome you back to legendary Lab People Stadium for the MCPSS High School football game of the week. Don't forget Labor Day. We will be closed, offices and schools, Monday, September 7th, Labor Day. MCPSS will be shut down, so enjoy the long holiday. Right now, we're going to take it down to the field and speak with Carol McQueen. She is Director of Food Services Program for the Mobile County Public School System. Ms. McQueen, thanks for joining us. How are you this evening?
I'm doing okay. What about you?
Oh, it is hot. It is Mobile, and you know it's humid. So we're up top here sweating off, but we know you guys are working hard in the Food Services Program. Give us an idea about how many meals a week are you all providing for the students here in Mobile County?
Right now, we are approximately providing 48,000 meals, and that's include.
Wow, that is a lot, and we know that pickup days are at the top of the week. So can you give us an idea of what takes place? Will we have to bring the lunch card, or can we just show up because the kids are in school right now?
Yeah, the kids are in school right now, but due to a waiver that was given to us by USDA, the kids no longer have to bring their cars. So the parents can come pick up the meals without the kids at this present time and without the car due to the waiver that was given to us collaboratively by the State Department and the USDA.
And speaking of the USDA, overall, just tell us how the program operates and what does it take to pull it off?
Well, the program operates, right now we are operating all of our schools, and the program is funded by USDA, and we're able to give meals, breakfast and lunch We provide one hot meal on Mondays, and the rest of them are meals that can be prepared at home, and this includes lunch and breakfast. And you don't, as I mentioned earlier, you don't have to have a lunch card, so this will be for any student that's 18 years old or younger.
Okay, we're speaking with Carol McQueen. She's Director of Food Services here with Mobile County Public Schools. Could you give us an idea about how long are we expecting this program to last the way it is set up right now?
We'll be able to operate in this capacity as long as we don't have face-to-face learning. And what's going on now, we'll be able to feed the students virtually.
Now, I know you can't do this alone, but give us an idea of about how many people are involved. Is it the entire cafeteria program at a school, or are you doing pickups only at certain schools in the systems area?
It's all of our schools. It's every school in the system. And we have over 563 CNP employees, and all of them are working at this time.
All right, Ms. McQueen, we saved the best one for last. Can you tell us what kind of delicious foods are you all serving in the program?
As I mentioned earlier, we were preparing hot meals, and this would include vegetables. Some of them, sometimes we have hot wings, pizza that can be prepared at home, hot dogs, some of the items that the kids like, and hamburgers and fries, and all kinds of fresh vegetables such as broccoli, carrots, and apples and oranges and grapes.
Well, I can tell you, I go by and pick up the food with my kids. They'll be in school on Tuesday. Monday's a holiday. Can I go alone on Tuesday to pick it up, this Tuesday coming up?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
You can come Tuesday.
And speaking of the food, I have to say, hats off to you guys. My kids love the egg rolls that came out this past week. So that was awesome.
We like to hear the positive feedback.
All right, Ms. McQueen, we appreciate you coming out tonight on this hot night here at Ladd Stadium, but we appreciate all the great things that you're doing with the food services program. And don't forget, parents, this Tuesday, that will be the pickup day. Ms. McQueen, thank you so much for coming out.
All right, thank you.
All right, we'll be back with more. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
It's a fact. Bullying happens. Bullying can lead to serious physical and emotional pain. But there are some things you can do to prevent or stop it. Stand up for the person who's being bullied. Let the bully know that it's not cool to pick on others. Take action by reporting the bully to a teacher or principal. In the end, when you help someone who's being bullied, you are also helping yourself.
Hello, my name is Kyla Brown, and I am redefining ready. I'm taking AP and dual enrollment courses that will help me earn college credits while in high school. I am studying dental science that will assist me in my career choice of becoming a dentist. I am a Student Government Association representative and actively involved in other activities around my school and community. And this is how I am redefining ready.
We welcome you back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Al Whedon, Corey LeBounty. We're here at legendary Ladd People Stadium, and Davidson on top right now, 7-0 over Murphy. And Corey, we're going to take a look at the Alabama Sports Writers Association top 10 polls that have come out this week. And we'll let the guys in the truck get that up for us. And we'll start off with 4A, looking at American Christian holds on to the top spot once again, as do the Vigo Wolves, still at number 3. And playing their first actual game of the season tonight, Corey, against W.S. Neal. Mobile Christian, they upset UMS Wright last week, so they entered the poll at number 8. And Williamson drops out of the top 10, picking up 14 votes.
A big game tonight between St. Paul's and Williamson, and last score I checked, St. Paul's was leading Williamson 21-6, but Viger just excited to play football finally, and again dropping down to 4A after not having an opportunity to really play their first game against Blunt. I know they're just excited to play tonight.
Let's take it up to the 5A poll. Over in 5A, Central Clay County still atop the poll. St. Paul's moves up 1 spot to 2, and the Rams of Faith Academy continue to climb, now up 1 spot to number 5. UMS Wright's winning streak ended last week at 34 games with that loss to Mobile Christian, so they dropped 3 spots to 8. But with the Battle of O'Shell Road taking place tonight, that number 8 ranking won't last long, Corey.
Yeah, you saw UMS Wright with a big win over LaFleur here last night at Ladd Peoples Stadium, and that was huge. But St. Paul's on national television with a big win.
Take it up to the 6A poll, moving on up there. The top 3 remain the same, with number 3 Blunt still not yet having to play a game. They were scheduled to play Baldwin County tonight, but we know that they have been quarantined. Eufaula jumps from 7-4, and McGill-Tulane still sitting at number 5. They're down 27-0 right now to Saraland, and Saraland remains at number 10. So 6A, we have 3 teams in the local area here in the 6A poll.
Yeah, watch out for the Spartans. We saw them absolutely stun the Bobcats in week 0, but Blunt getting an opportunity next week to play Central. I know they'll be happy to actually just be able to play football, as they've gone almost a month without even putting toe to leather.
That is unreal. In 7A, Thompson picks up 23 first place votes, and Hewitt, Trussville, and Hoover remain at 2 and 3 from last week. Fairhope climbs up the poll 1 spot to number 5, and their opponent tonight in the Battle of Eastern Shore, Daphne, is on the outside looking in with 23 votes, and Daphne on top of Fairhope right now. So there's a look at your 4A, 5A, 6A, 7A Alabama Sports Writers Association poll. Let's take it down to the field and enjoy the sounds of the Murphy Panthers. And that was the sound of the mighty marching Murphy Panthers. Davidson up 7-0 at halftime. We'll be back shortly after this break. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
A teacher is one of the biggest investors in a community.
They impact the lives of those we value the most.
Teachers share knowledge which helps shape and mold our future leaders.
Teachers show direction and help build a sense of purpose. Are you ready to make a change? For more information on teaching opportunities, teacher incentives, or to apply with the Mobile County Public Schools, log on to www.mcpss.com.
My name is Harshini. I'm a junior at Davidson High School, and after graduation, I plan on pursuing a career in dermatology. Currently, I'm taking science classes such as AP Chemistry, Biology, and Human Anatomy, which will help me pursue my career. I feel as though Mobile County is preparing me for my career choice in that they provide rigorous classes that help me think further beyond just what I'm learning. I'm Harshini Cannon, a junior at Davidson High School, and I'm learning today so I can be a leader tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Todd.
And I'm Terry, and we'd like to invite you to join us as we take a look at nature in ways that you've never seen before.
Come travel with us as we go coast to coast to uncover some of the most interesting animals
and some of the most beautiful scenery that's offered outdoors.
You can join us on our nature adventures right here on the MCPSS TV network.
At Mobile County Public Schools, we believe it starts with us. That's why we offer Signature Academies.
I'm Tracy Train, and I'm in the Healthcare and Dental Academy at Theodore High School. In the Dental Academy, I'm working alongside dental professionals getting hands-on training from those already working in the industry. Shadowing them on the job makes me want to work even harder because now I know what I want to be.
Signature Academies are open to all students in Mobile County Public High Schools. To find out more, visit mcpss.com.
As a student in the Mobile County Public Schools, there are a few things I've come to expect. One is a quality education, and the other is a quality lunch. Not only are our school meals well-balanced, meeting all federal nutritional standards, but they also have less fat, fewer calories, and they taste really good. Oh, and I forgot to mention, our school lunches contain whole wheat, grains, fruits, and vegetables to give me the energy and brain power to get me through the day.
We welcome you back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Al Wheaton, Corley Bounty on the sidelines. We have Mike Herndon handling stats for us. It's China Powell. And we're going to get up right now, speaking of some statistics, but the standings in the area, Corey. We'll start with 4A and work our way up to 7A because we have some folks playing region games actually started last week.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. You know, every week you just try to get better. And as we take a look at these 4A standings, you'll see the implication of the region. Mobile Christian, of course, had that huge win over UMS Wright, ending that 34-game winning streak. But again, region play, no region games so far in 4A Region 1 besides overall rankings.
Now, tonight we do know that Viger and WS Neal are playing. That's Viger's actual first ball game. You see they have a 1 in the overall column because of the early forfeit from Blunt for the Viger-Blunt matchup. But Viger and WS Neal playing tonight. Let's take it up to 5A Region 1 and look at those standings as they come in. UMS Wright, they are 1-0. They picked up a win last night against LaFleur. Faith Academy, also St. Paul's, Alberta, Satsuma, and Rain. And with LaFleur losing to UMS right there, they fall to the bottom of the 5A. Very, very tough region right here, Corey, 5A Region 1.
It really is. As you look at the realignment, Faith Academy went undefeated 1 year ago in the regular season. UMS Wright comes up, St. Paul's comes down, and Alberta and Satsuma going after it. A tough loss last night for the LaFleur Rattlers, but Chris Raymond doing a wonderful job just trying to keep the program together with the LaFleur Rattlers. And, again, if anybody can get it turned around, it'll be Coach Raymond.
Moving up to 6-8 Region 1, we know a lot of those contests are going to be taking place in big things happening right now. Saraland and McGill, they're playing tonight. Scheduled was Blount and Baldwin County. We talked about it earlier. Baldwin County quarantined earlier this week, even Gulf Shores as well, and also Orange Beach. So 3 schools in the Baldwin County public school system on quarantine. But you have Robertsdale overall right there, 2-0. But Citronelle and Blount are going to meet next week, Corey. That'll be Blount's actual first game.
Yeah, and I look forward to seeing that being a huge region game. And again, welcome to 6A Region 1 McGill-Tulane as they drop down from 7A to 6A, and Saraland having its way right here early. And you always hate those forfeits, the final score being 1-0. And your Spanish Fort playing a game of no record tonight against Park Crossing, as Park Crossing comes down to play over in Baldwin County.
So that's something you rarely see with the Spanish Fort team sitting at 0-2, but we know some of the circumstances involved with that. And finally, 7A Region 1, that's what we're doing tonight. We know last week we went down to Theodore, and they picked up a win over Baker, and last night Theodore beat Bryant, so they're 2-0. They're leading that region. And with the 9-team region, teams like this, Corey, they start like last week. That's why we say region play has already started for some teams.
Absolutely, and there's no bigger game right there than Daphne sitting there playing Fairhope, because, again, the war on the Eastern Shore is a huge game as far as rivalries are concerned, but right here in front of us, a big game between Murphy and Davidson, 7A Region 1. Pigskin Pete told me that the loser of this game has gone on to not make the playoffs the last couple of years. So that's the biggest thing in this game. The winner of this game is going to make the playoffs 9 times out of 10.
That's some good research from a Pigskin there. My last score update, I got Daphne on top of Fairhope 27-10 as they are at halftime. And, Corey, we're getting ready for the third quarter right here.
Excited here about what's going to happen these next 24 minutes as these guys are going to lay it all on the line trying to get a big region win.
Thanks to Future Ones, where you can get team apparel and equipment from baseball to wrestling, all the sports in between. Future One, they have you covered, and thank them for taking care of us with the gear. Also, Firehouse Subs. Corey, I have to say something about the subs tonight. Tastes really great, so thanks to Jim and Susie Sherman at the Greenlight Road location. Oh, I know what it was. I got to experience it myself by picking the subs up, and a great working crew they have there. Man, they had guys coming in from DoorDash and Waiter, and they were answering the phone. So they were taking big orders over at Firehouse Subs tonight. So thanks to Jim and Susie Sherman.
I know our crew really enjoys it each and every week. And if you have an opportunity to patronize that location, go ahead and do so, because you'll get outstanding customer service as well.
All right, back to receiver Davidson, Denarius Brown and Jalen Nash. Davidson diverted to the second half. And that kick from Murphy's Edie Bingy is taken by Nash. He's still on his feet, still grinding, Corey, up to the 41-yard line. This guy is something else.
Doing a good job of staying on his feet, just hurdling defenders on the special team. It's a good way to start the second half if you're a Davidson Warrior, because you're in good territory. I think the ball is going to be spotted right at the 41 as we take a look at that replay as Nash takes that football, has a good wedge, goes ahead and splits 2 Murphy defenders, leaps over another, keeps his feet about him, gains another 5 yards, 1st and 10 Davidson.
Davidson comes out lined up behind junior quarterback Micah Brown. Jonathan Whitfield on the carry. Still keeps those legs moving. We always talk about that, Corey, keep the legs moving. But Murphy was moving in and stopped him quickly.
Yeah, that's going to be huge in this situation for Murphy to come out and try to force a 3-and-out. You don't want any momentum if you're the Panthers to go ahead and trickle over here to the second half. You want to go ahead and get your fans involved in this game and give your band an opportunity to strike it up and play that fight song.
2nd and 9 for the Warriors. And Corey, one thing I've noticed about high school football, the referees appear to be using their regular whistles. We don't have that electronic whistle thing they're going through at college right now.
Yeah, that's something different that you really, Mark Jones, over the officials here in the Alabama High School Athletics Association, gave the officials whether to go with the electronic whistle or the whistles themselves. There's going to be a sideline warning.
That one against Davidson.
Sideline warning on Davidson.
So it'll be 2nd and 9 for the Warriors. Ladd is coming. They finally changed it here. Ladd, 2nd and 9. Whitfield stopped in the backfield by the Panthers. Corey, let's get your checklist back up, kind of revisit. What do you think both of these teams did in the first half to be on top of your checklist?
Again, Murphy had to limit the mental Murphy mistakes, and they were able to have a lot of penalties and weren't able to finish drives. They had to stop the Warriors' running game. Both teams were balanced from a running game. In 4 quarters, who's going to be that 4th quarter finisher? Murphy looks to be that.
Brown looks to the sideline. 3rd and 15, 3rd and long here. He's got time, trying to go over the top, and he overthrows his receiver. He'll take him to 4th down.
And that's the stop that the Panthers team needed. 3 and out to put them punting the football. That's exactly what Coach Rico Jackson wanted. He wanted his team to play with a little energy and a little juice, but I promise you, this Panther fan base is just waiting to erupt and get excited. They need some offensive production, and here they'll have an opportunity to do so on this return.
Jonah DeLonga on to punt. Kind of shanks that one off, but get some good distance out of it. Not exactly a shank, right up the middle. Got to get my eyes checked there, Corey. They're going to down it at the Murphy 45-yard line. So Khalil Johnson didn't even have to come up to field that one. Murphy's got great field position here after that punt by DeLonga.
Now it's important to see what they're going to do with it. We looked at the halftime stats, and the rushing yards were almost balanced between these two teams. And now let's see if this offensive line of the Panthers can go ahead and take over here in the second half of action. Wheeler, I think his longest rush may have been maybe 4 or 5 yards, wasn't able to really get into this secondary.
They fake it to Wheeler, then to Johnson, but Howell's going to keep it. He picks up about 13. Great play call there. 1st down for the Panthers in Warriors territory.
Howell does a good job of making nothing into something, as his was a busted play. You look at the handoff was not clean. Howell uses his feet to go ahead and establish a 1st down. That's something that they were able to do a lot of in the first half, but weren't able to finish drives. Let's see if they're able to finish this opening one of the second half.
Howell tosses out to Wheeler. He's got some space, and the flag comes in from the official, and they're looking at Tanaka Scott possibly for an illegal block right there.
Yeah, blocking the back there. If you can't see the numbers, then you don't need to block it, and that's exactly what happened to Tanaka Scott. It's going to be one of those costly penalties to where the Panthers had all the way to the 41-yard line and are going to go backwards now.
Now, I think Scott truly was trying to get out the way on that one, Corey. So, but he
play.
got caught.
Block in the back. The offensive team. It's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Remain 1st down.
Take a look at the replay here, Corey. Now, if I was calling a basketball game, I would say that's a great screen right there for you to drive in lane and score.
You know, it's one of those situations, though, you're taught that you have to be able to see the numbers, and Tanaka Scott Jr. was not able to do so. 1st down and 20 yards to go now for the Panthers.
Howell's going to keep it. He's got some room. Can he escape? Fumble. We could have our first turnover. Do the Panthers get back on it? I believe they do.
They do. The Panthers catch a break, Al, as Alex Howell on that last possession and his scrambling had the ball very loose from his body, and he does it again. He's got to protect it in one hand, and you're going to go ahead and have a fumble every single time a defender pokes himself away.
Xandarius Williams punches it out, but I believe right guard Jalen Haston fell on it to recapture it for the Panthers, as it will be 2nd, and as I like to say, Corey, every now and then, a country mile.
And I tell you what, they're going to have to go all the way to North Carlin Street to get this 1st down on the Murphy Panthers. 2nd and 29. You really don't have a big-time play. They were able to convert, I do believe, 2nd and 50 last week.
On their first possession of the season last week, they converted a 2nd and 50 and spun around up the hole. Khalil Johnson takes a hit. Boy, the Warriors are on it.
And he's definitely going to feel that one in the morning, Al. Khalil, he's trying to get his wits about him. You hear the collision. That was just two brutal forces going up against one another, and the crowd gives you the oohs and ahs of that collision that took place. He was able to gain 5 yards on it now. Looks like it's going to bring up 3rd down and 24 yards to go.
I got to credit our crew with the Nat Sound on that one as we get a look at Malachi Howard, right tackle for the Panthers. The Nat Sound lady holding the mic, she got all that pop for us, Corey. Wow. Howell steps back. He's just going to dump it off to Ferris Wheeler. Now Wheeler can make something happen. He's got some open space. Got one man to beat. He gets the first down and is forced out of bounds by the Warriors. Big conversion on 3rd and 24 for the Murphy Panthers.
Nice swing pass out of the backfield. As you saw, Howell miss that pass in the first quarter. He doesn't miss that swing pass then, and Wheeler does the rest of the work. Yards after catch, eludes a couple of Davidson Warriors defenders, and that's exactly what the doctor ordered if you're the Murphy Panthers, to get your team involved and fired up. I think this is the deepest that they've been in Warrior territory the entire game.
Great block by Al Robinson to allow Wheeler to pick up the rest of that first down. And Corley Bounty, you're correct. This is the farthest that Murphy has penetrated tonight into Davidson Warrior territory. They're going to go back to Wheeler once again, and he keeps the legs moving, and he wheels it up to about the 19-yard line of Davidson. Murphy's in the red zone for the first time tonight.
Devon Smith, Zykees James, Christian Boyd, Jalen Haston, and Malachi Howard doing a good job of getting that push up front for this Murphy Panther team. 2nd down and probably a long 3 yards to go for the Panthers right at their 19-yard line of the Warriors.
Ladd says a 2nd and 2, but I'm going to go with you, buddy, and let's call it 2nd and a long 3 here. That ball to Khalil Johnson. He gets the first down as he's brought down at about the 12 or 13-yard line. So the Panthers pick up a first down, and they'll move the sticks as they get closer to the end zone.
Zandarius Williams, the inside linebacker, makes the tackle on the play, but not before the Panthers are able to establish a first down, and the ball is going to be right outside the 10-yard line. Right at the 12 is where they're officially going to spot the football.
So Murphy can pick up a first down without having to score here. Wheeler in the backfield. Back to Wheeler they go, and boy, he's behind the big blocking of Malachi Howard. That's a touchdown, Murphy Panthers.
And that's exactly what the doctor ordered, being able to get that push. And what a game of momentum we have seen. Great job by the offensive line as he just rolled the coattail of Malachi Howard, who pulled from his right tackle position, going left. He had his hand on his hip, and he just went ahead and right behind Howard, got into the end zone from 12 yards out. Great job of execution by the offensive line, getting 6 on the board, the first 6 for the Panthers.
Edie Bingy on for the extra point, and he is perfect on the season, 6 for 6. As Murphy ties up the ball game 7-7. Corey, they come out with their first possession of the third quarter, and that is what we were expecting to see. Now, you're not having technical difficulties right now, but if you have some doing online learning, make sure you follow these steps. Let your teacher know. Also, reach out and call your school. If you still have issues, call 221-7777 on Monday through Friday between 3 p.m. and 8 p.m., and we appreciate your patience during this virtual learning period. Actually, you can call that every day, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Corey, great drive by the Panthers right there.
73 yards, 7-play drive, exactly what offensive coordinator Rico Jackson needed, and they were able to get Ferris Wheeler, who 1 week ago had 293 rushing yards, gets his first rushing touchdown of tonight's contest. And here we are at 7-7 as you see Wheeler chewing on that mouthpiece as he was able to chew up the Davidson Warrior defense as well on that last drive.
You were right about that, Corley Bounty. Wheeler finally got off, and here's the replay as he's going right behind Malachi Howard right there into the end zone, almost untouched.
A great job of the Panthers getting a hat on a hat. And you look at the inspiration. That's the type of juice that I was telling you about.
Yeah.
You could feel the bleachers where we're sitting here on the 50-yard line start to shake and rumble around because they've been sitting on their hands the entire first half, and they really wanted an opportunity to really start cheering here in the second half. We're at 6:02 here in the third quarter, and just like that, we're knotted up at 7 apiece.
Back to receive for the Warriors. Jalen Nash and Denarius Brown calling Nash's name a lot in the first half for Davidson, as he has continued to run and also receive big plays for the Warriors tonight. Put up their only score so far with a 55-yard reception from Luke McGowan. Edie Bingy kind of floats that one. Nash is going to take it at the 30 up to about the 33-yard line. This is great field position for the Davidson Warriors. Their second time touching the ball in the second half.
And let's see what they're able to do with it in this situation. We saw them go 3 and out the last time that they were on the field, and Murphy was able to get a little momentum behind that, and we'll see if they're able to put and sustain some type of drive. As when you look at my checklist situation, Davidson had to have the strong start. They did. They had to be balanced. They needed that pigskin protection. We haven't seen a turnover by either one of these teams, and because of it, you've only seen the ball hit the turf one time, but 7 apiece here in this 7A Region 1 matchup here at Lad People Stadium with 5:55 remaining in the third quarter.
Yeah, Corey, we have our heat timeout right here, and take a look at the balls right there. Also coming up between the third and the fourth quarter, the game of the week brain buster. I think we may be able to get the question up here for you, Corey. We have our heat timeout right here. All right, Corey. Last week was multiple choice, so we're back to no multiple choice this week. What former Murphy Panther was a member of the LSU Tigers 2019 National Championship football team? That's our game of the week brain buster. So, Corey LeBounty, you think about that, and between the third and fourth quarter, we will reveal the answer. Murphy has come back and tied this ball game up. And it is very similar to like we had a game last year, Cole. We talked about it. A little rushing attack, and now Murphy has got their rushing together. Davidson coming back onto the field now after this heat timeout. Up the middle goes Whitfield for about 3 or 4 yards. It'll take Davidson the second down.
Pads popping is what we're going to see, as Coach Rico Jackson told Mike Herndon going into the half, he wants to see his team play with a lot more energy and excitement and play a lot harder. He felt that Davidson wanted it a lot more in the first half, and his team came out here in the third quarter on that last drive, was able to score. The defense needs to make a difference. Some type of turnover would really be a backbreaker for Davidson if Murphy could force a turnover here.
2nd and 6. And Brown is wrapped up by the Warriors. He takes a big loss on that sack.
Great job of Tyrese Williams from his defensive end position of staying home and rushing the passer.
Look at him.
He broke down. That's the biggest thing. He didn't miss it. He just made that solo tackle almost by himself until his help arrived. But now you're bringing up a long 3rd down and 15 yards to go.
Tyrese Williams, leading tackler for the Panthers on the season so far. They're going to set up a screen here, the Warriors, and they do get it connected out to the receiver. I believe he's going to be short with that pass he hauled in.
Good reception.
Javonte Johnson.
And nice.
But it's not enough, Corey.
It is not, but that's a good play call. Nice safe play call by John Williams. I tell you, you're a shoestring tackle away from putting 6 on the board. Wasn't able to stay upright, but the Murphy Panthers are going to get this football right back here with 4 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. And let's see how tired Davidson's defense looks after being on the field for 7 plays.
Denarius Brown out to punt. DeLonga is not there. I wonder, may have some movement. It is 4th and 5. If this is offsides against Murphy, it'll be a first down. But I wonder why Denarius Brown is back to punt rather than DeLonga.
Well, let's just hope that he's able to get a clean punt and it goes end over end. Looks like Murphy and Jabiron Nettles is very frustrated, maybe against the Panthers in this situation, the way he's looking.
So it's offsides. So that'll be first down
Dead ball. Both sides on the defense. The penalty is a 5-yard penalty. The yardage resulted in a first down.
And there it is. Davidson picks up the first down.
You don't want to see that if you're Tellis Stone or head coach Rico Jackson. That's one of those mental mistakes that was in my checklist at the beginning of the game that you had to stay away from. Keeps the Panther defense on the field longer, but they did a good job of getting in the backfield here. Let's see if they can get Jabiron Nettles involved into making some type of big play.
Davidson back on the field with the offense as Jalen Nash picks up about 1 or 2 on the carry. It'll take them to second down.
Positive yardage is exactly what you want, whether it's even just 1 yard. Going to bring up second down and 8 yards to go for the Davidson Warriors from their own 46-yard line. And offensive coordinator John Williams showed us a little trickeration by the double pass being called, and it definitely got the attention of defensive coordinator Tellis Stone of the Murphy Panthers. So you don't look for any tricks, just hard-nosed running and nice, accurate passes that have to be completed by this Davidson offense right now.
They fake the handoff to Nash. Micah Brown picks up a couple. That's the second time his helmet has come off tonight, Corey, after he's tackled. He's going to have to come out one play.
And that's going to bring up the backup quarterback if they decide to go with Bryce Fick in this situation. And let's see who's going to play quarterback, if it's going to be Bryce Fick. So if he gets under center, that's the biggest thing. Anytime you have a new quarterback, a new cadence, and he looks like he's going to walk right up to the line of scrimmage and get in that shotgun formation. Let's see if there's any difference here with the new quarterback being in.
Luke McGowan in the slot. Fick is left-handed, tries to connect with McGowan. That pass incomplete. He short-hopped it. That's going to take the Warriors to fourth down. So that could have been costly with Micah Brown's helmet coming off as Fick has to come in. He's a sophomore, also the placeholder for place kicks for the Warriors. And once again, Denarius Brown is out to punt. So I wonder if some trickeration could be up for special teams coaches John Lambert and Rob Miller, Corey.
I wouldn't do it. I would try to flip the field in this situation and punt this ball as far as you can, maybe end over end.
Low snap. Brown has to do something. He's going to eat it. And he is not going to be able to pick up the first down. I thought if he could have just picked it up and tried to do a little quick punt, but Murphy has great field position. Ball at the 45-yard line. When it comes to high school sports, scores, players, and the latest on all sports within Mobile County Public Schools, you can get informed on MCPSS Athletics with Brad Lowell only on the MCPSS TV network. Corey, interesting situation right there, bringing out Denarius Brown. There could have been a fake on, I don't know, but right now it's not looking good for Davidson. They've given the ball back to Murphy after that score from Theris Wheeler right there in Warriors territory.
Davidson cannot afford to let Murphy have a long, sustained drive right here.
Hand off to Wheeler. Boy, he's got room up that hole, Corey. You could have gotten through there. That's about an 8-yard gain. Second down for the Panthers coming up.
Shoestring tackle made by Zendarius Williams. If Wheeler avoids him, again, he'll make 6 points on the board. But you see that by both of these running teams. Both backs have been stopped with just one shoestring tackle, and sometimes that's all it takes.
Another handoff to Wheeler. If he would have continued north and south, probably could have picked up the first down, but the Warriors got in his way, Corey, and they stifled his momentum. He's going to be short about a yard or two.
Bounce to the outside. Cedric Easterling comes from his free safety spot and does a good job. His dad was a fine running back at Shaw High School. And again, it just must be in the genes because Cedric Easterling doing a good job playing just like his dad used to do, making that tackle at 5'9", 162 pounds.
Great research on your behalf there, Corey. Great research, digging into books. I got to tell Pigskin, you did a good job tonight, man. 3rd and 1 is they're going to call it. Back to Wheeler. He's got the first down. Look at him go up the middle, just bouncing off the Warriors. trying to get close to the red zone. Ball at the 23-yard line. Ferris Wheeler is getting those legs going, Corey.
And it looks like he's getting stronger as we look at the high snap. Wheeler's able to cut back across after he gets past the line of scrimmage, bounces off a couple of the Davidson Warrior defenders. And the biggest thing for the Murphy Panthers is sustaining this drive. The Warriors have to make sure that they're not arm tackling, but you see the hands on the hips right here, the front three for the Davidson Warriors, showing a little bit of fatigue here as the third quarter is winding down.
And we're getting close to revealing the answer of the game of the week brainbuster for you. Less than 20 seconds remains. They're going to bring in Khalil Johnson as he gets past the 20 into the red zone. That'll probably be the last play of the third quarter, as Murphy won't even have to snap this one. So there it is, end of the third quarter, and we are notched up 7-7. Corey? All right, Corey, game of the week brainbuster. We put it out there. We started off the year with a multiple choice last week. Typically, we end the year that way. We didn't end it that way last year. We gave you your boards, and you failed your boards, but you came out on top last week, so you're 1-0. Let's see if Corey's winning streak can continue. Game of the week brainbuster. Corey LeBounty, what former Murphy Panther was a member of the LSU Tigers 2019 National Championship football team?
My good friend Douglas July Jr. was paying attention. He helped me out a little bit.
Oh,
Not that I needed it, but Neil Farrell Jr. would be the answer to this one, as again LSU coming off its national championship, and you like to see local guys on the roster.
2016 Murphy graduate Neil Farrell. And Corey, I will never forget, we were doing a Thursday night game here. Murphy was hosting Foley, and Foley scored with 0 seconds left in the ball game. And at that time, they decided to go for 2. And Corey, the guy who stopped and made the play and won the game for them was Will Farrell coming off the defensive end slot.
Yeah, Neil is an outstanding young man. You know, he decided to opt out of this 2020 season. But when you look at what he has in front of him, you know, he just does a great job and is a great ambassador, not only of the Mobile County public school system, but represents his family very well, and we're just happy that he was able to win a national championship along with a couple of other Mobile County public school system students as well.
Daphne up 41-13 on top of Fairhope in the Battle of the Eastern Shore. Something else going on over there. Right now something going on. His name is Ferris Wheeler, and he's picked up a first down. Corey, he is starting to get on fire for the Murphy Panthers.
Wheeling and dealing
is
what Ferris is doing as he's continuing to pick his running lanes. As you look at the replay here, he does a good job of bouncing to the outside, and he has a little stutter step hesitation to freeze a couple of defenders. Good job of blocking by Tanaka Scott Jr. downfield, and you're only going to be as good as your wide receivers blocking downfield, and that's a great job there of Tanaka doing that for his teammates.
First and goal, ball on the 8-yard line. Khalil Johnson picks up a couple. It'll be second and goal here for the Panthers. So like Davidson has a 1-2 punch of Jonathan Whitfield and Jalen Nash, you can kind of see the Murphy 1-2 punch between Khalil Johnson and Ferris Wheeler tonight.
Bend but don't break attitude is what the Davidson Warriors have to have, but when you're able to rotate backs in and out, Khalil Johnson and Ferris Wheeler, Wheeler comes right back in, and you're looking now, you have a situation to where Wheeler looks like he's going to be a Wildcat quarterback.
Yep, second and goal here, ball on the 6-yard line. Wheeler's going to take it.
Oh, that's number 8.
And that is a touchdown. That is not Ferris Wheeler. Rayshawn Kid Bryant comes over from defense from his linebacker's position and scores a touchdown, Corey.
Big time play. Rayshawn Kid Bryant, a fresh running back. I just mentioned about Wheeler and Johnson. Now you go into a goal line situation, and Rayshawn Kid Bryant gets into the end zone from 6 yards out, and now the Panthers have scored 13 unanswered.
Edie Bingy on for the extra point. Low snap, but the holder's going to run it in, and he's going to score 2. Adrian Hardy puts on his brainbuster cap, and he gets it correct. So the lead is up 15-7, Murphy on top of Davidson.
A teacher is one of the biggest investors in a community.
They impact the lives of those we value the most.
Teachers share knowledge which helps shape and mold our future leaders.
Teachers show direction and help build a sense of purpose. Are you ready to make a change? For more information on teaching opportunities, teacher incentives, or to apply with the Mobile County Public Schools, log on to www.mcpss.com.
We welcome you back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Murphy extends their lead to 15-7. 6-yard touchdown run by Rayshawn Kid Bryant. And here's the 2-point conversion, Corey. They were going for the extra point, but it looks like the snap was a bit low. I believe the replay was a little late right there from the snap, but you can see it came in a little low where Hardy could not place the ball down, but Smart on his end to head on to the end zone.
Adrian Hardy, the senior, getting his name in the scoring books. And to me, that you couldn't have asked for a better situation for the Murphy Panthers, because now you go ahead and you're forcing Davidson, if they do score, that they're going to have to go for two. But 11:03 remaining here, and it's just a fortuitous bounce, and he knew exactly what to do with it. There was no containment there by the Davidson Warriors special teams, and he was able to run it in for two.
Now, that drive definitely had a lot of Theris Wheeler. Coach Jackson told us he worked really hard during the offseason, said he did it all on his own. They had no spring practice and 2 periods during the summer where they had to shut down, but Theris took it upon himself to keep going, and he worked out alone. And on that last drive, he definitely worked out for the Panthers.
7-play, 46-yard drive there for the Panthers, and a nice hard hit by special teams. But more importantly, Davidson's offense right here has to sustain some type of drive, because their defense cannot be asked to get right back out here on the field, as you're seeing the Murphy sideline start to play with a little bit more juice. But it's going to be important. Again, I mentioned you have to be 4-quarter finishers on my checklist for the Murphy Panthers, and here we are in the 4th quarter. They have the lead now. They've scored 15 unanswered, and they're trying to finish this game. Davidson's going to have a lot to say about that if they're able to get some type of drive going, and they're going to call a targeting.
Personal foul targeting against Davidson. So Denarius Brown had brought the kickoff to about the 21. So that's going to push them back farther. Big game for both these teams tonight. They're playing a 9-team region, 7A Region 1.
Personal foul. Helmet-to-helmet contact on the return team. Penalty is half the distance to the goal line. It'll be first down.
So the Warriors are 90 yards away from scoring with 10:56. Let's see if we can see this targeting here on the replay. Could have been it right there at the bottom of the screen. So unfortunate for the Warriors, they're going to start their own 10-yard line. And let's see if we'll get a dose of that 1-2 punch of Whitfield and Jalen Nash. Micah Brown sends Whitfield out. He's going to just take it up the middle, and he picks up maybe 1 or 2. Be second. Well, actually, he's going to take a loss there, Corey, on that. So it'll be second and about 13.
Tyrese Williams does a great job from his defensive end position of stepping up and making the play, but we've seen the quarterback for the Davidson Warriors, Micah Brown, make things happen with his feet in the first half, and is going to have to do that here in the 4th quarter.
Second and 13. Ball on the 7-yard line. Got to be careful right here. Denarius Brown in motion. They tossed it out to him. Glad he hauled it in, Corey. If he had dropped it, that was a lateral. That was a live ball. So Brown gets some positive yards, so good play, but it'll still be about 3rd and 7 for the Warriors.
A long 3rd down and 7, and you mentioned DeLonga possibly being out as the punter, as that last punt attempt was not punted by the normal punter for the Warriors. So that's something to look forward to here if the Panthers are able to get them to 4th down. And right now, the Warriors have to convert this 7 yards deep in their own territory to get another fresh set of downs.
Brown looking to connect, but he's just going to keep it. He has enough room to get the first down. If he keep going north and south, Corey, gets past the 20, it's going to be close depending on where they spot this ball at. I believe the line to gain was the 20-yard line.
And I think he's going to have just enough to get that first down as the officials are taking a look at it, and Tim Porter's officially going to tell the chain gang to move the sticks.
First down.
Fresh set of downs. Great job with the feet. Micah Brown getting to the yards needed to extend this drive for the Davidson Warriors.
Great camera work by Leon down there on the sidelines to pick that up. Luke McGowan lined up into the slot at the top of the screen. Has a touchdown pass of 55 yards to Jalen Nash. That's the only score for the Warriors tonight. Brown wrapped up and sacked by a couple of Panthers on that one. Be 2nd and long for the Warriors coming up.
Jalen Williams and Jaquan Evans had a sandwich on the quarterback as they had a late night snack, as both of them did converge and finish the tackle on Micah Brown, as that's going to be a huge loss on first down. Going to bring up 2nd down and 17 yards to go now. The Warriors will be at their own 13-yard line. And I've seen on the last play, you look at the backs coming out of the backfield, Jalen Nash on those swing passes, he's open. And also, you look right down the seams, the wide receivers are open as well. Let's see if Micah Brown has time to find them.
Brown's got all the time in the world. He hauls one off. Almost hauled in by the Panthers. Isaac Williams III almost had him an INT, and Corey, he probably could have walked into the end zone with that one.
Dropped back into coverage and just read Brown's eyes as he looked directly as to where he wanted to throw it. And Isaac Williams III, frustrated that he couldn't put both his hands together, squeezed the pigskin, a little grease out of it, but unfortunately, it did not happen for him. 8:10 remaining here in a 15-7 contest where the Warriors are trailing and need to go ahead and continue to get a fresh set of downs as they just did moments ago.
Flag comes in from one of the officials as the play clock was nearing expiration. As you look forward into the future, Murphy travels to meet MGM next week, and then they'll be here to host Theodore, and then at McGill for Davidson, their future schedule. This one's quite interesting. They're going to spend the entire month of September on the road. We'll tell you more about it.
No penalty on the play for too many men on the field.
They'll travel to Enterprise next week. Then, Corey, they're at Fairhope, at Saraland, then at Theodore. So the schedule maker not very friendly to the Warriors this season.
No, absolutely not, as you're going to have to turn into road Warriors. But
yeah,
next week you step into non-region contest. But as they spot this ball, 3rd down, 17 yards to go, as Tim Porter goes over to the far sidelines to speak with Rick Cawley and their coaching staff as to why that flag was waved off.
This just in, Battle of the Eastern Shore, or the War on the Eastern Shore. Daphne dominating 41-13 over the Pirates, Corey.
A little bit surprising in that situation as the outcome of that score, but it's to my knowledge Trent Battle is having an outstanding game for the Daphne Trojans, as he did 1 week ago against this Davidson Warriors team.
Here against Davidson, yeah.
5 total touchdowns he had 1 week ago here at Ladd Stadium, as Tim Porter is coming over to Rico Jackson now, explaining himself. And I like the fact that Tim Porter is explaining to both head coaches exactly what the situation is on the field. And I don't know exactly what he is discussing with both head coaches, but he is giving the courtesy so both of them will have knowledge as to what's going on within tonight's contest down on the sidelines.
Speaking of Coach Rico Jackson, talked to him earlier this week. I asked him what do you think about the new look Region 1. He said it didn't drop off with McGill leaving. It got better and tougher with the addition of Daphne, and you can see that tonight as Daphne all over on top of Fairhope, 41-13. All right, it's 15-7 here. Murphy on top. 3rd and 17. Big play for the Warriors. Guy in motion. Brown's got time. He's trying to go up top to Denarius Brown. Incomplete. Just a bit outside, Corey.
Hit him in his hands, in stride. He had to look over his shoulder to make that catch, but it did hit him in his hands, and that's exactly what you want if you're a quarterback. Wide receiver connection is for it to hit you in your hands, but now you look at DeLonga. He is going to be punting for the Davidson Warriors, which is huge. Look at this replay. It's a great throw on the play by Micah Brown. He does put it on the money, and you look, he looks, if he would have caught the ball, he might have stepped out of bounds.
That's what I mean, just a little outside. If he'd have hauled it in, I think he would have been out of bounds, unfortunately. Khalil Johnson lining up. DeLonga in the end zone. He's got a good foot, and he puts his foot into that one. Johnson actually takes it at the 50. Up to the 40, needs a couple more blockers, and he's got green grass in front of him. One got to beat. Jonah DeLonga can't catch up with him, and it is a touchdown punt return by Khalil Johnson, 50-yard return.
A great job of cutting against the grain, keeping his balance, and just like that, special teams make the difference. DeLonga with great hang time on this punt. As you look at the gunners on either end, they really had an opportunity. 1, 2, Easterling misses the tackle, another missed tackle, and then he just cuts, and there's nothing but blue jerseys in front of him. Has to beat DeLonga to the finish line, is able to stretch himself out and do so. And just like that, folks, the Panthers have struck again, and they're looking to go ahead and take this lead to 22-7 with 7:43.
Panthers are clapping. It looks as if the call is going to be against Davidson.
As a student in the
Dead ball. Illegal substitution. Too many men on the field. On Davidson, penalty is declined. It will remain a try.
So Coach Jackson declines the penalty. Edie Bingy on for the extra point. I believe we're ready for play now, Corey. One more adjustment there, and we'll finally get our extra point here. Low snap, Bingy gets it up, and it is good. After a 50-yard punt return by Khalil Johnson, Murphy extends his lead 22-7 over Davidson.
As a student in the Mobile County Public Schools, there are a few things I've come to expect. One is a quality education, and the other is a quality lunch. Not only are our school meals well-balanced, meeting all federal nutritional standards, but they also have less fat, fewer calories, and they taste really good. Oh, and I forgot to mention, our school lunches contain whole wheat, grains, fruits, and vegetables to give me the energy and brain power to get me through the day.
We want to remind you that Labor Day, Mobile County Public Schools and offices will be closed. So Monday, September 7th, Mobile County Public Schools will be closed for Labor Day. Just want to remind you of that. Also, thanks to our folks at Future Ones for hooking us up with the gear. If you're trying to take care of your team, reach out to Future One. They can take care of you from basketball to wrestling and all sports in between. Wear the future with Future Ones. Also, Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs, save more lives. A portion of subs purchased goes to the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation, providing life-saving equipment to first responders. So thanks to Jim and Susie Sherman at the Greenlight Road location. And Corey, thanks to Khalil Johnson, 50-yard punt return. Murphy on top now, 22-7.
And that's huge. As I don't know if we're able to take a look at that replay. I know we were going into the replay into break, but What a great move, great special teams play, and how this game has changed. Now the Warriors have an opportunity here to return the favor. Still plenty of time remaining in this contest, 7:43. The Warriors just need to go ahead and make sure they score on this possession.
Warriors slip up, bringing that ball back. Javante Johnson.
Turf Monster.
Turf Monster got him, Corey. Our first time calling about the Turf Monster. Here's the replay as you called for it. Well, that's for the kickoff right there. I think we were looking for the punt return touchdown. We'll try to get that one back on, but here's the Turf Monster about to make his appearance right there.
He did. He jumped out of Ladd Stadium and was able to make that tackle. And you make it easy if you're a special teams defender when the turf is the one who makes the tackle. But 7:36 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Davidson does have this football. Looks like they're going to make a change. Micah Brown still at quarterback, having an opportunity here with his feet to be effective, but Davidson just has to have a positive drive right here.
Murphy forces Whitfield to bounce it outside. No gain on the play, going to take a loss of about a yard, so it'll be 2nd and 11. Corey, as you put the ball game in perspective, who do you think would be your career tech education player of the game? You got any guys in mind? I have one particular guy in mind. I'm not too good on my Spanish, but I think it's uno, dos, tres, cuatro, siete, no, cinco, siete? Is that number 6? Seis?
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro,
the kid
cinco,
that wears
seis.
number 6 for Murphy, that's the guy I'm thinking about. What about you?
That guy right
there. There's Wheeler. That's what I'm thinking about.
I like Wheeler. He's done a great job. And you look at that special teams touchdown that was just converted by the Murphy Panthers. And those are a couple of guys to really keep your eye on.
And keep Khalil Johnson had the return, but he's been running a lot tonight as well. So he's been a contributor. But I'm thinking Wheeler right now. That's my thoughts are. We'll see.
6:55. The Warriors at 3rd down and 12 yards to go have to convert here. This is the biggest play of the game for them.
Got to get a first down right here. Micah Brown got his guy open in the flat right there. Picks up the first down, Jordan Brown, and that's going to move the chains. Ball being placed at about the 34-yard line. Great conversion right there for the Warriors.
Just what the doctor ordered for offensive coordinator John Williams. Micah Brown has time to set his feet. Finds Jordan Brown, the 5'10", 160-pound junior, makes his 2nd reception of the season for a huge Warriors first down.
Brown has a nice arm, and one thing if you notice about it, Corey, he kind of chucks it sideways a little bit, kind of a little side arm when he throws it, but he can air it out when he needs to. Stoppage and play. Coach Rico Jackson takes his first time out of the second half with 6:14. I think this is what's called a strategic timeout because he knows the next dead ball under 6 minutes, he'll get a free timeout from the Heat timeout.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at those timeouts that he called in the first half, though, being a lot more strategic here in the second half with his calling of those valuable timeouts. His team leads 22-7 over the Davidson Warriors with 6:14 remaining here in the fourth quarter of action. But what's amazing to me, Al, is you look at 1 week ago, this Davidson Warrior team hits the Daphne Trojans in the mouth first and go up 6-0, miss the extra point, and then Daphne rattles off 42 unanswered points. You look at the situation, the blueprint here at Ladd Peoples Stadium tonight. Davidson Warriors have the great double pass play called.
Beautiful.
That gets their 7 points on the board. And now Murphy has rattled off 22 unanswered points. So, again, it's just a matter of the Davidson Warriors finding a way to finish third and fourth quarter, and they haven't been able to do that so far in the last 2 games. But credit the Murphy Panthers, again, for making the adjustments coming out of halftime. As Coach Rico Jackson said it, they didn't play with a lot of juice, a lot of energy. Davidson looked like they wanted it, but the Warriors here still have an opportunity, plenty of time with 6:14 remaining to go ahead and get some points on the board here in the fourth quarter.
First and 10 here for Davidson, ball on their own 34-yard line. Brown dumps it off over the middle, and that's going to be a first down Picked up by Javante Johnson.
There's a penalty flag. I think it's going to be a personal foul call.
I believe it is, yeah.
Maybe offsetting as the whistle blew. Both at the bottom of our screen, the offensive player and the defensive player did not stop when the whistle blew. So it's just a matter of whether the official decides to see it. You can, at the end of this play, look at the bottom of your screen and be able to see it. It was away from the football, not in front of Davidson's bench. But
right.
I know we had a tight shot in that situation, but I did see the whistle blow.
Personal foul on the defensive team. The 15-yard penalty added to the end of the play. It will be a first down. We'll now take our hydration break.
So the Heat timeout comes at 5:59. And that mental mistake goes against the Panthers, puts 15 yards on top of the first down that Javante Johnson picked up for Davidson. So that puts Davidson now in Murphy territory, trying to get on the board here, Corey, down 22-7.
Hydration timeout could not have come at a bigger time for the Davidson Warriors. But Blaine Clausell, it's a name that should sound pretty familiar if you're a Baker Hornet fan, because
Correct.
He went on to play at Mississippi State, had an opportunity to play in the Senior Bowl here in Mobile, Alabama. He's a Mobile County Public School System former graduate, but again now is helping out the Davidson Warriors offensive line staff and Rick Cawley, and that's a great addition to Rick Cawley's staff, getting Blaine Clausell to become a Davidson Warrior.
Right. In addition to that, even brought over KJ May, guy who played for him, went on to Minnesota. So smart move by Coach Cawley. Has two guys who they have professional football experience, Corey, and they can come back and teach these young men. And speaking of teaching, Coach Cawley told me he even got them hooked up with teaching positions. So if school ever does go back for person to person, it's always good to have coaches on your staff in your school.
Without question. And what's awesome about this is Rick Cawley spent many years as the head coach at Murphy High School and an assistant coach at Murphy High School. And also KJ May is a former Murphy Panther. So, you know, being on the opposing sideline has to feel a little bit different for him. But this game means a little bit more for Coach Cawley as well as KJ May, as they know exactly what's at hand. As you mentioned it at the beginning of the broadcast, I think this is the 60th time that these two teams have met all time.
1st and 10 after that 15-yard penalty Murphy incurred. Davidson has great field position at the Murphy 40-yard line. They'll play action. Brown's just going to shuffle it to Whitfield, and boy, he is, boom, clobbered right there on the tackle by, I believe, Tanaka Scott comes over to defense. I had to double-check my depth chart there.
Tanaka Scott Jr. with a huge hit. He closes in as that ball was pitched. Textbook style. I know Tanaka Scott Jr. is a lethal wide receiver, but looked like a lethal cornerback in that situation.
Let's check in with Mike Herndon down on the sideline. What's going on, Mike?
Might have noticed we had a little bit of an extended water break there, even though it was a regularly scheduled water break. Looks like one of the referees got a little overheated, and they were getting him some water out there. He was down on the field for a little while, then got up, dusted himself off, and he's back calling the game.
Hammering Mike Herndon with the information. We do appreciate that. It was a bit extended. And, Corey, this play is extended here. We have a penalty out on the field, but I don't want to – I know the NFL and college are talking about targeting, but I got to say that was one of those you got jacked up plays with Tanaka laying that hit down there, Corey.
He really did, and that's going to be an easy holding call for the officials to make, and that a holding call is going to be called on Adrian Mayers, the right tackle, 5'9", 5'10", 230-pound senior, and it's going to cost some valuable yardage.
During the play, holding on the offensive team. Penalty is 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Will remain 2nd down.
Going backwards now, looks like it's going to be 2nd down and close to 37 yards to go.
So Davidson actually had the ball at the 48. Not the 48. They had it at the 40-yard line of Murphy. Now on their side of the 50, sets up 3rd and about 34, I believe, Corey.
Yeah, quite a distance to go for the Davidson Warriors, and they're not really built for this type of situation. But you're in 4-down territory. I mean, you can't afford to punt the ball away, and you're in a situation where you want to try to gain at least 18 of those 34 yards here on 3rd down alone.
Double stack receivers for Brown. He's got some time. And that ball is intercepted as the Panthers, I believe, was that Adrian Hardy, Corey?
It was
Adrian Hardy. Sure was.
With the INT, and there's also going to be a flag on the play. You look at plenty of time for Micah Brown, and he just threw into double coverage, and you just didn't have to force it in that situation. As the defender came up, Hardy did a great job of stepping up and intercepting that football and taking over possession for the Murphy Panthers. And we're going to see Tim Porter marching out close to midfield to see exactly what the call is going to be.
Blocking the back against the Panthers, but that came after the change of possession, so Murphy will be penalized on that. But great INT by the senior strong safety Adrian Hardy.
And Hardy
after
down.
The change of possession, blocking the back on the defensive team, 10-yard penalty, the spot of the foul will be 1st down, Murphy.
And I don't know if Hardy's down because of contact or Corey or just because of the humidity. Right now, we're after 9 o'clock, and my good buddy Wade Ford down in the truck sent me the graphic for weather. It says 83% humidity, 81 degrees. It feels more like about 94 here at Ladd Stadium.
And I'm surprised we haven't had here in week 3 of high school football more players cramping, but that's due to the great conditioning during these COVID situations that they've gone through as the Panthers take over here, trying to grind out the rest of this clock.
1st down there for the Panthers. Takes them to about 2nd and 3. So, Corey, Career Tech Education Player of the Game, who do you think about for tonight?
I'm going to have to go with Darius Wheeler.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
In this situation because he was instrumental in that drive. Did it, punched it in from 12 yards out. He did behind the blocking of Malachi Howard on that touchdown, 12-yard touchdown. But he was very instrumental in it.
There you go, Corey. You were right. Darius Wheeler, Murphy High School, our Career Tech Education Player of the Game. He had a tremendous impact on this ball game tonight. Continued to keep those legs turning, working hard, building futures, Career Tech Education, and that's what Wheeler was doing tonight. Matter of fact, they brought in Fernando Brown, and they're giving Wheeler a break right now as Brown's coming in, and he is running very well for the Panthers. Moves into Warriors territory, ball at the 40-yard line. There's Brown on the move on the replay, just right up the gut.
Anytime you're able to pick up fresh set of downs, offensive coordinator and head coach Rico Jackson's going to be in no hurry to snap this football as we're under 3:30 in the 4th quarter.
Murphy in command on top 22-7. A ball game that they won last year 13-7 as Brown cuts outside to the numbers.
Stays in bounds.
Stays him out. Very smart, just short of the 1st down. But the clock is their friend right now. It's their ally. All they have to do is pretty much just drain it right here as we approach 3 minutes.
And again, Al, what was our halftime score? You look at it being 7
to 7. 7 to 7 at halftime.
And again, 22 unanswered points right now by the Murphy Panthers, but it was just a matter of coming out in the 3rd quarter and sustaining that first offensive drive. Getting a stop is what the Panthers were able to do, and they were able to not only get the stop but score offensively, and that energized their crowd and their sidelines and gave them a lot more juice.
Flags come in. False start against the Panthers.
Dead ball. False start on the offensive team. It's a 5-yard penalty. Will remain 2nd down.
So it looks as if everything goes well. Murphy's going to come away with a big region win tonight, which will move them to 2-0 after they defeated Foley last week. Hand off to Brown. He picks up a couple. It'll be third down for the Panthers as we approach 2 minutes in the contest.
The Panthers are just happy to milk this clock down as far as they can, and the Davidson Warriors are to be commended for a tremendous effort and a tremendous fight as they were dealing with a lot of young and a lot of youth along the offensive line tonight, and you wouldn't have known it by the way they came out and hit the Panthers in the mouth early with the trickeration of the double pass.
Right. And one thing about that Davidson lineup, the inexperience is not more so of size. That ball is out. That's a turnover, Corey, our first turnover of the ball game as Brown loses the ball. As I was saying, Davidson actually has a lot of seniors, but they just don't have the experience, so they come in inexperienced. And Coach Colley told us before the ball game, the left tackle broke his arm this week, and another man on the line went out with an MCL, so he had to bring a freshman in and also move a center, Edward Moffitt, over from center to right guard. So a lot of shuffling took place this week for the Warriors offensive line.
Well, again, Murphy turns the ball over, their first of the game. They're still going to continue to clean up the mental Murphy mistakes that you don't want to have. As we know, Murphy next week, again, Mitch takes on MGM at MGM, and we had that game a year ago, and we know how explosive both of those offenses can be.
Micah Brown. Pass incomplete for Brown. So Corby kind of taking it 1 week at a time, but I believe we're going to try to put it on out there this week. Next week, check us out up in 8 Mile for the MCPSS game of the week. Citronelle versus Blunt. And a lot riding on right here. This is Blunt's first game of the season, so we're excited to go up to 8 Mile next week.
Yeah, I mean, Blunt's going to have an opportunity. Lee Hunter decides to go ahead and come back and join this this Leopard defense. And you're looking at a Lev Holly team that's just real hungry to hit the field, and they're going to have an opportunity to play the Citronelle Wildcats, and Coach Barnett's done a great job there, but I'm really excited to see this Leopard team for the first time this year.
Yeah, we were, I mean, it's out of our control, but we had a letdown when we didn't get the Vigra Blunt game. We were excited about seeing LaMarcus Brown and
play. Personal foul,
Porter.
Roughing the passer. 15 yards from the previous spot. Penalty is an automatic first down.
So we were excited about seeing those Leopards. They have guys who have commitments to Auburn like Lee Hunter and LaMarcus Brown, Jarvis Williams. And then our hopes got dashed when we got the news that they had to quarantine. So we're excited to see the Leopards ourselves. After the penalty, Brown is sacked. Brought down at about the 38-yard line as we approach 1 minute left here in the ballgame.
Yeah, I think you're just looking now with 1 minute left and the Panthers leading 22-7.
Yeah.
The possession of the ball with second down and 14 yards to go. You want to still attack this Panther defense. You want to try to find a way to score here before time runs out and maybe kick an onside kick, because you've seen weirder things happen, but there has to be a sense of urgency here by this offensive team.
Brown has time, rolls out to his right. He's going to keep it. Needs to get out of bounds to stop the clock, and he does with 24 seconds remaining here in the ball game. Not enough for the first down. But overall, good effort put up by Davidson. Just in the second half, could not get that first drive to sustain, like you said, Corey. Murphy got them 3 and out. And then they went down the field and took over. And it's been a scoring barrage for the Panthers ever since.
Just what the doctor ordered coming out of halftime, and Brown's going to have a quick handoff that the Warriors had a lot of success with early in the first quarter.
And that play brings in enough for a first down. as Coach Rico Jackson, as a head coach, is going to go 2-0 against Davidson in his Murphy coaching career.
There's also unsportsmanlike being called against Davidson.
On Davidson, yes. So penalty still coming up as we're trying to finish the ball game off right here.
17 seconds. Offensive coordinator John Williams again dialing up a great first half. Just wasn't able to really sustain drives here in the second half.
Dead ball. Unsporting act on the offensive team. It's a 15-yard penalty. It's going to be 4th down. Clock will start on the...
So the clock's going to start on the whistle, and this is probably looking to be the last play of the ball game here tonight. Up the middle goes the back for Davidson. Picks up a couple of yards.
That's going to be
on that run, Derek Butler on the final play of the ball game as Murphy gets the win. 22-7, Corey, on a second half barrage of scoring when they came out of the locker room.
Yeah, it's important to note that, again, 22 unanswered points, and the nail in the coffin was that special teams touchdowns of over 50 yards. You look at my checklist last night or tonight, Al, Murphy had to limit the mental Murphy mistakes.
Right.
They did have a few.
They didn't
cost them the game. They wanted to stop the Warriors' running game. They were able to do that tonight, and they wanted to be four-quarter finishers. They definitely finished strong here in the fourth quarter. And Davidson, they're going to continue to improve. Coach Rick Cawley and offensive coordinator John Williams, defensive coordinator Kelly Eubanks do a great job. They had to get off to that strong start. They were able to do that going up 7-0. They were balanced tonight as the double pass and the running game was effective, and the pigskin protection was there as they didn't turn the ball over. Murphy had the only turnover of the game, I do believe.
And that occurred late in the fourth quarter, as a matter of fact, because we went almost 4 quarters with no turnovers tonight. But great opportunities for Murphy tonight. 12-yard touchdown for Theris Wheeler, 6-yard touchdown for Rayshawn Kidd Bryant, who came in for the direct snap. But the big one was that 50-yard punt return from, I believe, Khalil Johnson, Corey.
Khalil Johnson made the difference. And also, you look at the special teams, the 2-point conversion also was huge. That made it 15-7. But I know we're going to go down to Mike Herndon right now and see what his thoughts are with the head coach of the Murphy Panthers.
22-7 victory for Murphy here. I'm here with Coach Rico Jackson. Coach, you talked about needing a little more effort, a little more push in the second half. How do you feel about that came out?
Man, I'm so proud of the boys. They responded at the halftime, and basically it was just effort. Just give effort and play hard, and good things go happen.
We're also here with a player of the game, Theris Wheeler. Almost 300 yards last week. It was a little tougher going this week. How do you feel about how you played in your offensive line in front of you, especially in the second half?
Well, the way I feel, I was playing, messing around, and we had locked in like second half and stuff like that, and O-line had to get right too. So we dominated. That's how we did.
2-0 so far on the season. How do you think 3-0? Excuse me. How do you think you set yourself up for the rest of region play?
We're just taking one game at a time. We're gonna get back to the drawing board, get ready for Mayor G, and I'll try to make it 4-0.
Congratulations, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Congratulations, Theris.
All right, thank you, Mike. We do appreciate that. They've got MGM next week, Corey, so congratulations to Coach Rico Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, a huge win, 3-0. You know, anytime you can get a big region win last week and this week, you know, they're just trying to secure that playoff position because that's where they want to be. And a team from this region really wants to win in the first round of the playoffs. We know we have 4 teams to qualify, but haven't had a first-round winner in a while. But the Murphy Panthers going in the right direction after tonight's win.
All right, for Corley Bounty, Mike Herndon, our statistician, China Powell, executive producer Quentin Howard, director Wade Ford, and the entire crew, we thank you for joining us for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Next week, we're going to 8 Mile. It's Citronelle versus Blunt, so make sure you join us. We'll go live at 6:55. Thanks for coming out tonight. You have a great one.